/ Duval County, and I know how to work toward making this city safe.
We can't be shy about speaking on things such as faith and politics. We have to remember, in a free society, the public square belongs to all of us.
I'm not interested in North Florida looking like Orlando or Miami. I love where we live, but I think that good jobs means that people that live in this district can stay in this district.
Fishing and hunting is funding a large part of your conservation projects in Florida, and we want to make sure that those are forever preserved.
And the problem with this industry at this point is that they actually target our youth. You can see it in their marketing strategies where it's bright colors, fun names.
And that's going to be endlessly litigated.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
What does life after service look like? Kicking back? Taking it easy? We believe it looks a little different. Fighting for all veterans. Making sure they get the benefits and care they've earned. Rebuilding communities after disaster strikes. And adapting to support today's veterans. Meeting them where they are. The VFW. Still leading. Still advancing. Still serving. Get involved at stillserving.org.
I can trace family members who served from World War I to today, each one helping shape who I am. My family chose to share their stories with the Library of Congress Veterans History Project. Voices, letters, and memories that bring their service to life. Searching for their stories was easy. You can discover powerful stories too, told through the voices of America's veterans. Explore, remember, and share at loc.gov/vets.
Half of young adults are at risk of hearing damage from loud sounds. So why is this happening? We know not to bake in the sun for hours and to get our eyes checked regularly. We buckle up to save lives. And we know that smoking kills. So do poor diet choices and poor life choices. But why are we so reckless with our hearing? We take hearing for granted. Hearing damage from loud sounds is permanent, but preventable. We take common sense steps for our health every day. Let's make hearing part of it. Wear earplugs. Turn it down. Give your ears a rest. Love your ears. Learn more at hearinghealthfoundation.org. Keep listening.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and I have to tell you, when my wife and I talked about getting new kitchen countertops for our house, we know who to call. Rock Solid Countertops and More, 2240 J&C Boulevard in Naples. And they have been absolutely amazing. Hugo and the team are the best. The workmanship has been absolutely incredible. The install was so easy. The process was perfect. Taking everything out, bringing the new stuff in. The quartz countertop is unbelievably beautiful, and my wife is super happy, I'll tell you. You know they have the best quality and selection of marble, quartz, granite, and a one-stop shop for all of your kitchen, outdoor, and bathroom needs. I've known it for years. I've lived in Southwest Florida 40 years. There was really only one place I was going to go. It's Rock Solid Countertops and More. I would suggest you give them a call, 596-7676. They're at 2240 J&C Boulevard in Naples. Find out what they can do for you. Countertops, cabinets, plantation shutters, they do it all. Rock Solid Countertops and More.
The other day, a man called saying my electric was way past due. He threatened to turn off my power if I didn't buy a gift card to pay the bill. I said, look, fella, I wasn't born yesterday. Gift cards are for gifts, not for paying bills, and I'm sure as heck not buying you a gift. So I hung up on the crook, and my lights never went out. Know the signs of scams and leave scammers in the dust. If someone asks for a gift card as payment, it's likely a scam. A public service message from the Better Business Bureau.
We all have someone we love, like the favorite lyric in our favorite song. You can't imagine life without them. Cancer screening tests can help keep the person you love around longer by detecting changes before cancer develops, or catch it early when it may be easier to treat. And many tests are available for free or covered by insurance. It's time to sound like a broken record. Tell all your friends and family, I love you. Get screened. Visit cancer.org/getscreened to learn more.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you could get both, why not? Especially when it comes to health care, and that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. That's because MediShare works. It has for more than 30 years. It's a community of Christians who have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth. They love the huge PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Just call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
Thank you for waking us all up out here. For all you do. And
thank you for giving us the voice.
For being out there helping keep the constitutional republic.
I want to thank you for
your support for veterans in the military.
Educating us.
Standing up for conservatism.
Giving us the truth.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Well, hey, everybody. Glad you're joining us today on Florida's Voice. My name is Drew Steele. Big D on the other side of the glass. We got Nina in the breaking newsroom and you hanging out with us at FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, Facebook, and Insta. Anytime you want to check out the program after hours, Florida's Voice with Drew Steele, the podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. D, how is your day going today? It's Tuesday, right? I'm just trying to figure out what day
it is. Happy Tuesday.
Yeah, happy Tuesday.
Day's going well.
Yeah, so far so good. Although there's enough out there. Why is it that we just found out this morning that we've got the pause on Iran with regard to the president of the United States and the talks that are going on, this last chance for a deal? But then we also find out that, wait a second, we have a leaker again? Did somebody in the government high up leak the planned strike on Iran? Like, we were going to do it, but the reason why we didn't do it was because, again, somebody high up leaked. I just can't believe it, because there are certain people that you would never have this issue. You don't have leakers in other administrations.
So what are you saying?
I'm saying that for some reason, when it comes to you and Biden, everything was on lockdown. It was almost like you've got this whole deep state thing going on, and you're all buddies with each other, and you make sure that nothing like this happens. And then ultimately,
shut up.
Okay, we got to move on. So what else do we want to talk about today? Let's see. Fraud is everywhere. It's interesting how it depends on who you ask. So if you were to ask a Democrat, hey, do we have any fraud going on in the United States? Is there anything we can cut, we can get rid of, maybe we can check on and make sure that, I don't know, election integrity is strong and there's no issues there's no fraud happening. And even when it comes to the tax dollars that we pay, our money and your money, and even the leftists who live in this country, who I'm assuming pay taxes, their money as well, they seem to have no problem with the fraud. We got a big issue with the fraud. And then they're always like, there's no fraud. There's nothing to see here. Everything is absolutely positively fine. Then why is it that the DOJ is cracking down on Medicaid home care fraud? Like, why is that going on? As a matter of fact, why is it that the DOJ and the National Fraud Enforcement Division made an announcement today just to make sure that everybody realizes that there's fraud going on here?
Today, we are announcing criminal charges against 19 defendants for fraudulent home health care schemes that targeted Pennsylvania's Medicaid fraud program.
It's just 19 people. What's the big deal? Right, D? It's just one Venezuelan gang.
Just one apartment complex.
That's it. Just one Venezuelan gang. What's the big deal? It's taken over the Colorado complex, right? It's
and resulted in over $4 million of fraud.
That's it? Just $4 million? That's tiny. That's nothing, right? Is that right? Hold on a second. There's more. Just wait.
18 of these defendants were charged in the last 12 days as part of a strategically coordinated law enforcement operation between the Fraud Division, the U.S. Attorney's Office, and the Pennsylvania Attorney General's Office.
Yeah.
The cases today build on the work that we recently announced in Minnesota, where we charged 15 defendants for systematically looting 7 state-managed Medicaid programs out of more than $90 million.
Mm-hmm. So $4 million, $90 million.
Treating those programs like a piggy bank until one of them had to be shut down entirely because there was nothing left.
They used all the money. Now, there are some people that are looking at this and saying, hey, I'm not really down with the fraud. I don't like the fact that we've got Medicaid fraud, people who really desperately need the help, Medicaid. And you've got people that are defrauding it, $4 million, $30 million, $90 million. And then you have others that are like, what's a couple of million? It's not that big a deal. No, it's a huge deal. Hold on a second. I was going to play a little Dr. Oz, because Dr. Oz was in Pennsylvania as well. And he wanted to talk a little bit about this. Go, Doc.
Around the country. The surge in enrollment of individuals in these programs is stunning.
Yeah.
So shocking, we have to double check our numbers. We don't think it's possible that it's happening, but it is.
Yeah, but the problem is that it's a Republican administration that's looking into all of this. So how do we even trust that this is happening? And, well, it's a couple of $1 million. It's not that big a deal, Doc.
In California and New York, the number one job in the entire state
is
personal care services.
Yeah, that's right. Personal care services. Number one job in the state. There's probably a lot of fraud in that.
Guess what? It's good to be home, because it's true in Pennsylvania, too. 50% dramatically more people serving in the personal care services space, that's home care, than is in retail.
So Dr. Oz is like, I don't know if you know this, but we got 50% more people that are in home health care than retail. 96% of personal care claims are illness unspecified. Can I say that again? The doctor went on to say, Dr. Oz, 96% of personal care claims in the state of Pennsylvania were quote unquote illness unspecified. Just put anything there. It doesn't matter. That's how they're titled, so they can track them. The average payment's more than $50,000, far above what you'd expect. All of it points to fraud. Now, I'm bringing this up for a couple of different reasons, because fraud stinks. I don't like fraud. You don't like fraud, but there's plenty of it going around. There are Democrats who would like to see more and more fraud because what? Is it because the people that are committing the fraud might possibly be your constituents? That can't be it.
Not a joke.
Nah, I don't know. Maybe, Joe. So there's that. But the numbers on a state level are really bad. The numbers on a federal level are staggering. Now, what would make you stagger? I don't know. Let's listen to Senator John Kennedy, who up on the Hill today, they were talking again about Medicaid fraud. Now, again, Medicaid fraud, your tax dollars, people who depend on Medicaid, and it's being taken away by fraudsters. You would imagine that would be a recipe for everybody getting together and wanting to stop this. You'd be wrong. Listen to this.
What's your best guess as to how much per year this cheating costs the federal taxpayer?
Okay, so federal taxpayer, you heard the $4 million Pennsylvania, $90 million in Minnesota. What's that?
And I'm a knucklehead at times.
Thanks. How much on the federal level we talking about here?
We released a report on this yesterday, Senator, and estimated that it's $33 billion. It was $33 billion.
$33 billion with a B dollars.
In 2024.
Okay. And that's $33 billion that is taken away from the people who really need Medicaid. Is that right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, obviously, right? So, forgive me if I'm trying to give you the obvious when it comes to the things that are going on with fraud. $33 billion taken away from the people who need Medicaid. So a lot of it in the federal government, there's a lot of money out there, and some of the national debt is fraud. And like he went on to say, and what others have been saying, do you realize how we can balance the books? How we could balance the budget if we were just able to get rid of the fraud? How wouldn't be close. We'd nail it. Now, before we move on, let me just play this because this is spectacular. So we know, I know, you know, us together, me and you talking. We know there's fraud. Absolutely, positively. We have people on the Democrat side who want to make believe that the fraud doesn't exist or just want to talk about something else. Why? You can ask a million questions on that and probably come up with a million answers as to why they don't seem to care. Here's someone who seems to want to deny it altogether. So again, on Capitol Hill, here's Senator John Kennedy speaking to a witness about Medicaid, somebody who, looking at him, has been in the business for quite a long time. I'm not saying he looks old, but he looks aged. Not Senator Kennedy, but the dude that he's getting ready to talk to. So there was this exchange on Capitol Hill. Here, check this out.
Ought to put people in jail for cheating?
Senator, I do not believe states are cheating.
You don't believe they're
I do
cheating?
not believe that.
If they were cheating, what planet did you just parachute in from? Sir?
Sir,
You don't
I've worked
believe
on
states
this.
are
I've
cheating?
worked on this program for a long time.
But I'm be
It's
sure to
not
understand,
perfect,
you don't
but
believe
states do not
you don't
cheat.
believe states are cheating.
I do not believe states are
Do
cheating.
you believe in the tooth fairy?
Seriously?
Sir? Do you believe in the Easter Bunny? Do you believe that Jimmy Hoffa died of natural causes? You're not answering.
I do not believe states are cheating in their administration of the Medicaid program.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad you have some water in front of you because your pants are on fire.
That's a nice way to put it. So there's Senator John Kennedy. By the way, a little aside, just for the kids. Kids, Tooth Fairy's real. Easter Bunny's real. Don't, it's just an older gentleman having some fun with a super old gentleman talking about something that when you're older, you'll understand Medicaid. But as far as that's concerned, just don't worry about that. The rest of us, we got to be worried about this. So yeah, just when it comes to fraud and the ones that seem to not want to talk about it, it's kind of interesting. Crazy, as it were. All right, what else have we got going on here on Florida's Voice? Hit me. All right, let's see. Is that Yoni Anajar? Is he joining us right now here on Florida's Voice? There he is, candidate for Florida House District 100. Good to see you again, my friend. How's things?
Everything's good, man. How's everything? First of all, that hearing was wild.
Yeah.
Just watching that from this, it's just wild that people just openly either don't want to admit or just dismiss the idea that there's any sort of fraud going on.
Right. You know, it's amazing how, we went there. You're going there, so let's go there for a second. Because this is, I don't want to say existential, but I guess it is. But this is the overarching issue that we have with the Democrat Party, with people on the left, with people who, for some reason, don't want to admit what is right in front of them. I mean, I played the DOJ and the fraud that they've discovered in Pennsylvania and those that were being arrested. They're not presenting these cases for fun. They're doing this because they have a case. And the fact that they have the case and they're presenting it. And then there are people who want to believe that none of this exists because what? Trump? I mean, it's outrageous.
You know why?
Yeah.
Yeah, Drew, you know why? Just like any other human instinct, when you get caught doing something bad, and you know for a fact that a lot of these programs were fostered or provided cover for by a lot of Democrats, especially in blue states, the moment that you acknowledge that there's fraud, then there's accountability. Because accountability is going to follow, and then the obvious question is, how did you allow this to happen? Like we saw in Minnesota too, with Nick Shirley's, amazing documentary on that, kind of exposing it. Everyone was obfuscating, pointing fingers here and there. Why? Because no one wants to accept accountability because they realize that it happened under their watch, and it's embarrassing, Drew. Let's be real. It's embarrassing for them. So rather than acknowledge it, they'll minimize it, they'll dismiss it, they'll say, you know what, I love this, Drew, and I'm sure you could appreciate this. Republicans pounce or Republicans, react. It's always us responding to something that's outrageous going on. And at the end of the day, listen, Democrats, a lot of the Democratic Party, the main ethos of the Democratic Party is that they're a better steward of your taxpayer dollars than the taxpayers, right? And so when someone wants to challenge that and take any modicum of power or provide any modicum of oversight or accountability, it's a threat to their very existence. So obviously they're going to react the way they're reacting.
No, that's a great point. And I will say this too, Yoni, and it's important to me and brings up something that you just mentioned, which is even when it comes to some of the things we found out about Fauci, it's been 10 days now, and there is quiet amongst those in the mainstream media outlets. They don't want to talk about it. And all I want, and I've said this before, All I want is a mea culpa. I just want to, hey, at the time.
You're not going to get it, Drew.
Right. But
you're not going to get it.
But the fact that we don't get it is so transparent to who they are. You're just opening it up for us to now be very upset about the fact that people are not held accountable, number one. And number two, that it's frustrating that there are people who are going to agree with that because politics, because Trump, because Republicans, whatever the case may be, when all I need from them at this point is I need people to come forward and say, listen, sorry about this. Sorry I doxed you. Sorry I didn't want to be your friend anymore on Facebook. Sorry that even the little things that we had to go through speak to the big things that we've had to go through as a country. And it's just, again, indicative of the reasons why we are so concerned about this country and the Democrat Party and what they are willing to do. It's just crazy.
Drew, first of all, Drew, you're so needy. You want accountability. You want an apology for having this person put us, the entire country. Yeah, I know, right? It's so crazy of a concept to do that. Yeah. But you know what the thing is Ron DeSantis should take that clip when he's pleading the fifth and then put that on loop anytime he gets called out by the media for, being overly burdensome or being against the science. You just play that on loop nonstop because Ron DeSantis' legacy was fortified at him standing up to Fauci. Like he literally etched his legacy by having the temerity, having the goal, having the courage to stand up. And you have to appreciate how much pressure was on this guy by Fauci, and everyone just accepted a hook, line, and sinker, right? About, we delegated all of our policy-making decisions to one doctor, right? The quote unquote, the expert, and all of these onerous policies that you have to take a step back. A doctor, at the end of the day, they're not trained in the Constitution, right? They don't know what there's a reason why a lawyer, for instance, swears an oath to protect and defend the Constitution, or myself as a commissioned officer in the Army, I swear an oath to protect and defend the Constitution. Doctors, I love them. I'm marrying a doctor next month. They're not, they have white coat ceremonies, right? So they're not trained in the Constitution, right? They provide helpful insight, but at the end of the day, when you delegate all of your policymaking decisions in the hands of a guy like that, and Democrats use COVID as a pretext to really enact the type of government they want, right? Because at the end of the day, they needed some sort of pretext, and it was the most eye-opening kind of experiment. When all the barriers are gone, all the inhibitions are gone, how would a politician or a lawmaker act when they can use the guise of an emergency or a public health crisis to essentially get away with anything they want?
Yeah.
Vote by mail, closing businesses, closing churches, closing synagogue, everything. And the idea that Trump was the fascist, Trump was the dictator who wanted to open up the businesses, open up our country, let kids go back to school, let people go pray in their places of worship. And you have people like Cuomo and Newsom, who the media was just kissing their ass, excuse my language, but there's no other way to describe it, and holding this guy, Fauci, as if he was like a deity. There's not enough kind of a reckoning, to your point, about a mea culpa from the establishment, from the media class, and from all the Democrats that forced, and how many people suffered, Drew, at the hands of this guy. Sure. And specifically on the 6-foot policy, I think I saw Senator Hawley really kind of emphasize, you had people that were arrested, Drew. You had people that lives were destroyed, businesses were destroyed because of this. And it's, there's not enough of the spotlight that this guy needs to be put under and held accountable for what he, and because he knew what he was doing was bullshit. Yeah. He knew what he was doing was bullshit, and he did it anyways.
Yeah. Yoni Anijar is joining us here on Florida's Voice candidate, House District 100. Hey, listen, before we go, a couple of things. We haven't had a chance to talk about how your campaign's going. How's things going?
Yeah, so first, Drew, first of all, I always appreciate the opportunity. I always enjoyed talking with you. Yeah, listen, last 2 weeks, we're pushing strong. We're getting a lot of momentum from different groups. Yesterday, I was fortunate enough to get the endorsement of the Broward Young Republicans, which I serve as the VP, but it was completely not a rigged election, okay? All the endorsement was voted on fairly. But I got their support, and it's been amazing. We've knocked on close to 18,000 doors over the last month and a half, really pushing out our message. I'm selling myself, explaining why my vision, my candidacy is the one moving forward. And I think it's helped me our ground game has helped me distinguish myself from my competitors. And God willing, I'm going to be able to get across the finish line, but I need people to vote. And that's hopefully people are listening. August 8th, early voting starts, continues until August 16th. And then finally on August 18th. And people always miss a primary, Drew. And you know how the power of the incumbency works. You get someone, they don't vote in a primary. You get someone who gets elected. No one gets challenged. They end up staying there for 8 years. It's a long-term relationship you're getting into. And that long-term relationship starts on August 18th, or starts on August 8th, I should say. But so it's super important for a Republican seat in Broward that you're being selective and you're making an informed decision. So I would encourage people to make the decision for me.
And by the way, Saturday, we've got a big event coming up, right? 11 to 2 in Lauderdale.
Yes.
Yep.
Saturday at the Fort Lauderdale and Fort Lauderdale at the voting center there, where myself and MAGA Meg Weinberger, State Representative Weinberger, are going to be appearing, and at the Art Serve at Fort Lauderdale for the voting center to kick off early voting. So for people who want to, talk to me in person, ask me questions, maybe make a last minute decision and change a vote. And, they have an opportunity to speak with me, with Meg and her team. So I would really encourage people, if you haven't made a plan already, please make a plan to vote, and please look at my candidacy, and I hope to earn your vote.
Awesome. All right, my friend, listen, all the best. God bless. Great to see you again. We'll speak soon, okay?
Drew, thank you very much, man. I appreciate you.
All right. Appreciate you. All right. That is Yoni Anidjar joining us here on Florida's Voice. As you know, candidate for Florida House District 100. All right. What else do we have going on? Yeah, we're going to get to more of the fraud that's going on around the country, including the fraud that is the Democrat Socialists. Come on. Get it? Yeah, there was a lot of talk today about what's going to be happening tonight and some of the primaries this week that are going on, especially in Wisconsin, and the latest that we're getting from not just Michigan and those races, but also the Wisconsin race and Francesca Hong. We're finding out more and more about how the DSA operates and how they lie, flat out lying, and how the media is protecting them. And how do you know? Because Francesca Hong has had a ton of videos that have been out there now that we've all had the opportunity to see on social media. And the ones that we've even had an opportunity to play. And when all of these videos come up, when you see all of these different things that are happening, like, for example, this little nugget at the Wisconsin Leadership Summit, where you have Francesca Hong, who says
that is in the service industry. We are finally having this conversation about, how our industry really did come from it and kind of is rooted in white supremacy.
There you go. So just in case you're wondering, when you have service people in the restaurant industry, it's all coming from white supremacy and, racist and homophobic and, Islamophobic, arachnophobic, whatever. So you have all of these clips that are coming out. What's the first thing that happens? The first thing that happens is, because it's the day of, or it's the week of, or we're getting closer and closer to election time, and what ends up happening? She runs to MSNBC or CNN or whoever will take her on. Did I say MSNBC? I guess it's MS Now, whatever they call themselves. Yeah. And so she runs there, and I think the CNN in this case, for the, hey, what did you mean? We heard a lot of things that you've been saying. That can't be true. Can you tell us the real story? No, I'm not kidding. I'll play the audio coming up.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
A lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you could get both, why not? Especially when it comes to health care, and that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. That's because MediShare works. It has for more than 30 years. It's a community of Christians who have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth. They love the huge PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Just call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
Hey Max, you look absolutely dashing in that purple tie. Ready to harness the world?
You bet, Daisy. I'm ready as I'll ever be. And might I say, your purple tie really pops with your vest.
Thanks. I almost went with a cape, but didn't want to come across as pretentious.
Nonsense. Anyone in our line of work should rock a cape.
You might be onto something, Max.
Phew, so here we go. First day on the job. We've got this, right?
Right. Don't forget, we both graduated from Dogs Inc. with honors.
Which means I can guide my human around a busy city with ease.
And I can give my human a restful night.
I hope my human is kind and loving.
And I hope mine likes wet kisses and zoomies.
Ready to make a difference?
Born ready. Let's go.
Discover how extraordinary dogs like Daisy and Max change lives at no cost to the recipients. Visit dogsinc.org.
After my injury, I lost my sense of purpose. I lost the ability to tuck my daughters into bed.
Homes for Our Troops build specially adapted homes with features that allow our veterans to function independently and focus on their recovery and family. This life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free, thanks to our donors and supporters.
Homes for Our Troops gave me a home where I can be a dad. Homes for Our Troops gave me a brighter future.
We need you to join us too in completing this important mission. Learn more at hfotusa.org.
I'm Chris Jakovic. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. Being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA. It is really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families. And one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Since the dawn of time, man and wildlife have shared a connection. And hunting traditions passed down from generation to generation have connected man to the natural world. From bow and arrow to hook and bullet, as man evolved, our link to those traditions remains. Yet today, our basic instinct to provide and as part of the hunt, to conserve and appreciate the natural world has fallen under attack for the first time in human history. Misguided politicians and radical activists pushing an agenda to end hunting as we know it are leading a war against our heritage. In their misguided policies and protests, they demonize hunters and belittle our way of life. The result? Hunters leaving the sport in droves while our wildlife and ecosystems suffer the consequences as conservation funding dries up. Named after the father of the North American model for wildlife conservation, the International Order of T. Roosevelt is fighting in the arena to protect and expand the rights of hunters everywhere. We will fight back against these forces to make sure that every American has a right to hunt, enshrined in their state constitutions. We will educate the next generation in our traditions and seek to expand accessibility so that everyone can enjoy our pastimes. And we will continue to hold true to our namesake's efforts to protect, preserve, and ensure open access to our nation's wildlands. Teddy Roosevelt's vision for American conservation defines our modern hunting and conservation system. A system upheld by the idea that conservation efforts are crucial to our hunting way of life, and that hunters are crucial to successful conservation.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? It's time to shift gears and seize the fresh opportunities this new pro-business environment has to offer. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and the team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you, helping you go on the offense with advanced tax strategies, thoughtful risk management, and forward-thinking financial planning. Imagine enjoying the retirement lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve, all while staying one step ahead, and in a changing world, you've got to do it. Alfie and his team design personalized strategies to strengthen your financial foundation so you can focus on living life on your terms. Ready to find out more? Text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, you can call or text 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and see how a proactive approach can help you thrive no matter what the market does next. Don't wait. Call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470 right now.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
All right, anytime you want to watch NFL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble X, Facebook, and Instagram. Anytime you want to check out the program after hours, when you go to get the podcast, it's Florida's Voice with Drew Steele, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get it. And then a reminder that we will be back here on Saturdays, 6 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. is Florida's Voice. Saturdays, 4 to 6 p.m. is Right Line, your national voice, where we stream live. So you can watch us at Right Line News on YouTube and X, and you can check out on great radio stations the program. So we've got breaking news and more. So over the weekend, you will never be lost. I'm hoping you're not lost on the weekends. Anyway, but the point is that you won't be lost when it comes to the news. I covered that well, D, right? That makes kind of sort
Interesting way to cover it, but it got covered.
Okay, got covered. All right, we got to cover this.
Top of the news, Florida's headlines. Now.
Top of the news from the Florida's Voice newsroom. That's what Big Voice Guy just said. AP Anita Padilla is there. She's got the latest. What's up?
Hey there, Drew. Hey. Topping the news right now, Florida Republicans have expanded their voter registration advantage over Democrats to more than 1.54 million active voters, according to the latest state data. That story tops our news right now. The numbers show Republicans have more than 5.6 million active registered voters. That's compared to just over 4 million registered Democrats. And voters with no party affiliation or who belong to minor parties account for nearly 3.8 million more. So the July figures show Republicans added more than 38,000 new active voters, while Democrats added about 24,000. The gap between the two major parties has continued to grow in recent years after Democrats held a registration advantage as recently as 2020. All right, in other news, Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd endorsing Republican congressional candidate Joe Strada in Florida's 11th congressional district race. Judd praising Strada's business background, saying that he's created jobs all across Florida and has been a strong supporter of law enforcement. The sheriff said Strada is a conservative who's going to put families first and America first and fight for the resources needed by men and women in uniform. The endorsement adds to a growing list of law enforcement officials backing Strada's campaign as he seeks the open congressional seat. And Republican congressional candidate Ben Butler out with a new campaign ad using a herd of donkeys to take aim at Washington politicians. That's a commercial that shows him visiting the donkeys after saying that he was told that the best way to understand Washington was to surround himself with, quote, a bunch of jackasses. Well, Butler then jokes in the ad that after meeting the animals, he owes them an apology, saying that they're more honest than the jackasses in Washington. The Central Florida farmer and businessman says it's time to send a farmer to Congress. Butler is seeking the Republican nomination in Florida's 9th congressional district. All right, that's a look at our headlines right now here at Florida's Voice. I'm the news director. I'll be back here in just a little bit, maybe in another hour, to give you more news around the country and here in Florida. My name is Anita Padilla, and Drew likes to call me AP. Yep. But I'm going to sign it back over to Drew right now. Take it away.
All right, AP. We appreciate you there in the Florida's Voice newsroom. Anytime you want to check out the stories they're working on, flvoicenews.com. That's Florida's Voice, the website. I don't know why we can't get this done. Why do we have a leader there in the Senate, John Thune, who just insists that it's all about us not doing the right thing? That's not really true. When it comes to the Safe America Act, hold on a second. So are you suggesting, Senator Thune, that we're the problem? Like, we should be focusing our attention someplace else? Here he is just a little while ago on Capitol Hill look, I'm just going to say this. For the longest time, when Super Mitch was running the show there, Mitch McConnell. By the way, has anybody seen Mitch McConnell? Have you seen D? Have you seen Mitch McConnell lately? How long has it been now? Have you seen Mitch? I haven't seen Mitch McConnell at all. I don't know what's going on with Mitch.
I haven't seen Mitch.
Nope, nobody's seen Mitch. But for the longest time, everybody was like Mitch McConnell. Like he's not really treating the president fairly, and he's been holding up a lot of things that we all care about and want. And the people that were surrounding Mitch McConnell at the time were the same people you're looking at on your screen right now. And one of them was John Thune, along with Barrasso and others, all the same people surrounding. And it's it's a funny thing how Mitch McConnell went away as Senate leader, and all of a sudden John Thune comes in, and it's like the same rodeo. I don't like this rodeo. I need a different horse, or whatever you have at the bull, or that kind of thing. So here's John Thune, who says,
first is there are no Democrats who are going to vote for this.
We know that.
All 47 voted against the SAVE Act 5 times.
We know that.
So let's make this an issue in the campaign. How about we go out and turn our fire on Democrats and make it about them?
Because we really want you to do anything and everything you can to circumvent the Democrats that won't vote for this and get it passed. Because even Democrats in the United States want this. Like, yeah. Okay, it goes on for another 20 seconds. Does he say anything logical here?
Opposing the SAVE Act. So we're not, that's the point. So we're not getting any Democrats. The second thing is we are not getting rid of the legislative filibuster. The votes aren't there to do that. I've made it abundantly clear many, many times. And it seems to me some days that I'm the only one here who can count to 50.
Wow. Again, so if we've had Senator Mike Lee, who I think can count to 50, and many other senators on the Republican side, who I'm pretty sure can count to 50, say, look, if you can get this as part of a reconciliation bill or as part of a budget or as part of something else, we can piece parts of it and get it to you so that you can circumvent the Democrats and get this sucker passed. And yes, I said sucker. Don't ask me why. Maybe because I'm feisty today. Is it okay, Dee, that I said that? Should I not use that word ever again? Maybe just...
That's fine.
All right. So if you can't do this, then stop blaming us for not blaming them. We already put the blame on Democrats. But when you know that you can do something about it and you're like, oh, I can't do really anything about it, then it's really, really, really frustrating. And especially when he is confronted by someone in the media who says, look, the president wants this. He knows what Drew Steele knows and is describing to his audience. Now, I don't know if the reporter said that. It would be really sweet if he did. But the point is that that's the point. That the president said...
by the president when he says he wants you to stay in session,
Yep.
wants you to pass the Save America Act?
Yep.
Well, I think the president...
What, doesn't know how to count to 50? Is that what you want to say, Senator?
I've heard from him a couple times this morning.
Bet you have.
On issues that he cares about.
Yeah. He cares about it. I care about it. Dee cares about it. Democrats even care about it. The Save America Act, voter identification. Just want to know you are who you are and you're a citizen before you vote. Preemptive. To make sure that someone doesn't get on a voter roll or doesn't step into the polling place. What?
I wouldn't say I'm isolated, no. I mean, I've been very clear about the prospects for the Save America Act. And the only thing I've said all along is we have voted on the Save America Act 5 times.
Yeah, we already talked about that. We already talked about it. So I just don't have a great feeling about the senator, the leader, John Thune, and whether or not they're going to stay in Washington, D.C., and get some work done instead of going on recess. And he made it in this presser perfectly clear that, nah, we're going to recess. So any of you who have been talking about this, get it out of your head because we're going on vacay. It is monumentally frustrating. And it continues. Can you hear my frustration? That's all I have. Here's another blah of frustration, if you don't mind me blah-ing. So we know that the President of the United States last week was talking about how kind of done with Iran, got a major strike happening. We got to finish this puppy up. Kind of over this now. The back and forth, the lying, the telling us, okay, yeah, we got a deal. And then going out in front of the meeting going, we haven't even talked to the guy. Like all of this nonsense, the attacks on our bases, the attacks on other countries. We find out that even in the Straits today, there were some attacks that were taking place. I think it was Trey Inks this morning on Fox who was talking about the latest on this.
Guys, good morning. While the Trump administration explores a diplomatic solution with Iran.
Yeah. By the way, after all of that, the president's like, all right, I'll tell you what. Maybe we won't bomb you into oblivion. Maybe we'll keep negotiating, because Iran and Saudi Arabia and others were like, hey, I think we can get a deal. I think, not like we haven't heard this before, but Trey says
the IRGC is continuing attacks in the Gulf.
Right. Something we've said on this program before, that leadership, whoever the leadership is like, yeah, we want to make a deal. And the IRGC, the military's like, we're not making any deals. And you've got this scattered leadership all across the country of military members who are just not giving it up. They're just going to continue to attack.
Overnight, at least 2 cargo ships were hit with unknown projectiles, according to maritime tracking groups. At least 1 crew member is reportedly missing from one of the vessels. Wow. The incidents do come as the U.S. naval blockade remains in effect. CENTCOM says that as of August 3rd, they have redirected 44 commercial vessels and disabled 2 others. President Trump posted to Truth Social on Monday, saying, in part, nothing gets through to Iran unless we want it to, and nothing will get through unless a deal or total surrender is accomplished.
All right, let me just stop there, right? So a deal or total surrender. We're leaning on the total surrender side now, more than ever, because Trey Hanks was asked something this morning on Fox that I didn't know about, you didn't know about, nobody knew about. So after the president said, we're talking to Iran, it's the last chance for a deal, is the reason why the pause was hit on attacking Iran and this massive attack that was going to take place. Is it because the plan was leaked? Is that true?
It's a great question, because these leaks can be substantial, and when you're looking at a situation with 50,000 U.S. service members, destroyers, refuelers, fighter jets across the region, the operational security is very significant whenever there are plans being made to strike Iran. And the president indicated he called off the planned strikes at the request not only of Iran, but also of Gulf allies like Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the UAE. What was interesting, though, Lawrence, we spoke with senior Israeli intelligence officials over the weekend who said they weren't even aware of the details of the plan. And that.
All right, so nobody knew about the plan. Israel didn't know about the plan. Nobody knew about the plan. This was going to be quite the surprise, this massive attack.
That's how close the administration was holding these details to the chest.
Okay, they're holding the details close to the chest. How big is this chest?
Because of how sensitive it is in the region. And so moving forward, we do anticipate the Trump administration will do everything possible to ensure that they're not giving Iran a heads up. They want to keep the Iranians guessing as these diplomatic pathways play out, understanding that if the talks fail, we are likely looking at a return to combat operations.
So get this. So there was a leak. So a major military operation in the works. Trump said it was going to be like the largest since World War II. It was going to be big. Like, we're going in and we're taking care of business. Did it get leaked over the weekend? I mean, Trey Hanks was saying that even Israeli intelligence had no idea about this. And as he was describing, and others were saying, we got a lot of troops around there. 50,000 troops, destroyers, fighters, refuelers. You've got to have security, otherwise bad things could happen to our service members. And somebody leaked it. Who did it? If it was so closely knit and so close to the vest, then who did it? And how do we find out? We got to find out exactly who did this, and needs to be opened up. Like, literally, we need to know if this happened. We need to know the person that did it. And then once we find out who that person is, no matter who it is, we need to know the name, and they need to be gone, prosecuted. Like, how could this happen? I'm talking about the safety and security of our military. Wow.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Did you know VA home loans are a key to home ownership for those who served?
The first moment I walked into my home, I could hear my footsteps echo off the back wall. The first thing I thought in my head was, man, furniture is going to be real expensive. The VA not requiring any down payment prior to buying the home allowed me to take that money I had budgeted to go out and buy furniture, food, cleaning supplies, pretty much everything I needed. Purchasing a home is scary, but ultimately it's not impossible, and they make it so that anybody can do it.
To learn more, visit va.gov/home loans.
For 25 years, the Library of Congress Veterans History Project has collected and preserved the experiences of America's heroes. From original letters to oral histories, these first-hand accounts bring history to life, one voice at a time. With over 120,000 stories collected, each reveals the courage, sacrifice, and service of our veterans. But many remain untold. Help our nation reach 125,000. Share a story. Ensure a legacy. Visit loc.gov/vets today.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you could get both, why not? Especially when it comes to health care, and that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. That's because MediShare works. It has for more than 30 years. It's a community of Christians who have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth. They love the huge PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Just call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
When I was 19 and I was going to shows, I was not thinking about permanent hearing loss. I wasn't thinking about tinnitus.
Sometimes my kids are having a conversation with me and that ringing starts in my ear. They're talking to me and I hear their voice, but I can't focus on what they're saying.
The audiologist, he told me that most of his clients are not old people. They're kids that have their earphones in.
I have a lot of regret about not protecting my ears sooner.
Protect your ears at all times, no matter what. It's not something you can get back.
Some journeys start small, with small pause and big purpose.
Look how little fly, you sweet girl.
Every great partnership begins with the first step,
Bella, let's go.
guiding them through the world so one day they can guide someone through life. With shared experience, confidence grows, and the path becomes clear. It takes time, patience, and love. But the reward lasts a lifetime.
Hey, good girl, Bella.
You don't just raise a puppy. You raise a future. Become a Dogs Inc. puppy raiser. Give a dog a purpose. Give someone hope.
Learn more at dogsinc.org.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Listen, I've lived in Southwest Florida long enough to know that when I needed countertops, you go to the best. Who's the best? Rock Solid on J&C Boulevard in Naples. First of all, Rock Solid's consultants, I wasn't really sure what I wanted, but I knew that they were knowledgeable, gave me all the information I needed to make the best decision. I love that fabrication is done on premises. It's not like they're subbing out the job to some third party, right? If you're looking for countertops, backsplash, you know where to go. Rock Solid, J&C Boulevard, Naples.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Who does this? I just bought this box of Huggies from Target yesterday, and I don't know if this is a Huggies problem or a Target problem, but like, there's no diapers in this. See, like this end is still closed. This is open. I just opened this. That's a blanket and plastic and a shirt. Or I don't know what it is, but there's fabric in there instead of diapers. I'm 4 weeks postpartum and now I have to lug my 4-week-old and my 24-month-old to Target. My husband's about to go to his night shift, which
Oh boy. So Dee, this is quite the predicament. Okay, so follow this. This is a woman clearly with a baby who went to Target. She went to go buy diapers. And I guess when she opened up the box, brought it back and opened up the box of brand new diapers was stuffed with old clothes. So someone took the diapers out, like bought the box of diapers, took them home, took the diapers out, filled the box with old clothes, sealed it, went back to Target and returned it. And so
that person makes the list of the worst people in the world.
Right. That's all right. So number one, worst person in the world, whoever did that. Number two, how do you stop something like that from happening? Short of, again, okay. How, so you put things, okay, there's a bigger question here, but it does have to do with the return an item question. If you return an item to a store, don't you typically at the store, don't you open it up to see, to make sure like that what you purchased is still in the box?
I don't think every store has that policy.
Yeah.
You know, if they see it's still sealed, maybe they just thought it was diapers.
Yeah, I guess. What? But that brings up the third problem, D. I thought you couldn't bring diapers back because they're diapers, and that's one of those things where it's like, nah, you can keep those. It's like, please don't try the underwear on, that kind of thing, because like, you can keep those, right? So isn't diapers like the same thing?
I don't know. I don't know how that works.
I don't know how that works either. That's why I'm asking. Maybe somebody in the audience knows. 866-588-8303. Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. The phone line's open if you want to call, or if you just want me to move on and completely forget about this, because I don't know the answer, and it's just one of those things where what are you going to do? I feel bad for the woman, and just don't do that. Okay. All right, 866-588-8303. What else do we have going on here today? Oof, a lot. I'm just going to mention this quickly because we don't have enough time to be fair with the clip. We got to take a break in just a second. But Katie Miller, who's married to Stephen Miller, she's got a podcast. She was putting out on her social media that Taiwan now has outsized importance to American national security. How? Because in the first 5 months of this year, we imported $90 billion in computer equipment, semiconductors, and other electronic components from Taiwan. Sorry, that was loud. I slammed the table. Sorry, D, the newsroom jumped. Sorry. Didn't I say this yesterday? Number one, we've got to stop farming out our technology. When we invent something like flat screen TVs or semiconductors, and we do all of these things, and then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, send it off to Japan, send it off to China, send it off to Taiwan. Why are we doing that? We need to onshore this because it's a national security risk, to her point. And I said this, and now when you see it, can you imagine what could happen? Be aware of this. If something were to happen in Taiwan, let's just say China's like, yeah, I think it's time we go in there now because we kind of want you all back with us on the mainland. And that gets shut down. Can you imagine all the electronics that get shut down in this country as well? Think about it.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
My name is Corporal Bradley Joseph Seitz.
Jerry Reed.
Kate Weber.
These are real veterans facing a real challenge.
I have PTSD.
And I have PTSD.
I have PTSD.
Post-traumatic stress disorder can happen to anyone.
I was still in a war zone in my mind.
But treatment can turn your life around.
Treatment has really saved my life.
To learn about PTSD and how treatment can help you, call your local VA medical center or visit ptsd.va.gov.
The best words to hear at the TSA security checkpoint? You're good to go. So check before you jet. Avoid delays at TSA security checkpoints by making sure you have an acceptable form of ID. That means a real ID, passport, or other acceptable forms of identification.
Visit tsa.gov/ID to check the full list of acceptable IDs. Avoid travel delays by checking ID requirements, and you're good to go.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele. Florida's voice with Drew Steele.
Congratulations on your show.
Congratulations on your new show. Big deal, huh?
That's why shows like yours are so important.
We have an independent county elected sheriff that's the head of law enforcement in Jacksonville/Duval County. And I know how to work toward making this city safe.
We can't be shy about speaking on things such as faith and politics. We have to remember, in a free society, the public square belongs to all of us.
I'm not interested in North Florida looking like Orlando or Miami. I love where we live, but I think that good jobs means that people that live in this district can stay in this district.
Fishing and hunting is funding a large part of your conservation projects in Florida, and we want to make sure that those are forever preserved.
And the problem with this industry at this point is that they actually target our youth. You can see it in their marketing strategies, where it's bright colors, fun names.
And that's going to be endlessly litigated.
Florida's voice with Drew Steele.
What does life after service look like? Kicking back? Taking it easy? We believe it looks a little different. Fighting for all veterans. Making sure they get the benefits and care they've earned. Rebuilding communities after disaster strikes. And adapting to support today's veterans. Meeting them where they are. The VFW. Still leading. Still advancing. Still serving. Get involved at stillserving.org.
I can trace family members who served from World War I to today, each one helping shape who I am. My family chose to share their stories with the Library of Congress Veterans History Project. Voices, letters, and memories that bring their service to life. Searching for their stories was easy. You can discover powerful stories too, told through the voices of America's veterans. Explore, remember, and share at loc.gov/vets.
Half of young adults are at risk of hearing damage from loud sounds. So why is this happening? We know not to bake in the sun for hours and to get our eyes checked regularly. We buckle up to save lives. And we know that smoking kills. So do poor diet choices and poor life choices. But why are we so reckless with our hearing? We take hearing for granted. Hearing damage from loud sounds is permanent, but preventable. We take common sense steps for our health every day. Let's make hearing part of it. Wear earplugs. Turn it down. Give your ears a rest. Love your ears. Learn more at hearinghealthfoundation.org. Keep listening.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and I have to tell you, when my wife and I talked about getting new kitchen countertops for our house, we know who to call. Rock Solid Countertops and More, 2240 J&C Boulevard in Naples. And they have been absolutely amazing. Hugo and the team are the best. The workmanship has been absolutely incredible. The install was so easy. The process was perfect. Taking everything out, bringing the new stuff in. The quartz countertop is unbelievably beautiful, and my wife is super happy, I'll tell you. You know they have the best quality and selection of marble, quartz, granite, and a one-stop shop for all of your kitchen, outdoor, and bathroom needs. I've known it for years. I've lived in Southwest Florida 40 years. There was really only one place I was going to go. It's Rock Solid Countertops and More. I would suggest you give them a call, 596-7676. They're at 2240 J&C Boulevard in Naples. Find out what they can do for you. Countertops, cabinets, plantation shutters, they do it all. Rock Solid Countertops and More.
The other day, a man called saying my electric was way past due. He threatened to turn off my power if I didn't buy a gift card to pay the bill. I said, look, fella, I wasn't born yesterday. Gift cards are for gifts, not for paying bills, and I'm sure as heck not buying you a gift. So I hung up on the crook, and my lights never went out. Know the signs of scams and leave scammers in the dust. If someone asks for a gift card as payment, it's likely a scam. A public service message from the Better Business Bureau.
We all have someone we love, like the favorite lyric in our favorite song. You can't imagine life without them. Cancer screening tests can help keep the person you love around longer by detecting changes before cancer develops, or catch it early when it may be easier to treat. And many tests are available for free or covered by insurance. It's time to sound like a broken record. Tell all your friends and family, I love you. Get screened. Visit cancer.org/getscreened to learn more.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you could get both, why not? Especially when it comes to healthcare, and that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. That's because MediShare works. It has for more than 30 years. It's a community of Christians who have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth. They love the huge PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Just call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE 40. 855-SHARE-40.
Thank you for waking us all up out here, for all you do. And
thank you for giving us a voice.
For being out there helping keep the constitutional republic. I want to thank you for
your support for veterans in the military.
Educating us.
Standing up for conservatism.
Giving us the truth.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Well, hey, everybody. Glad you're joining us today on Florida's Voice. My name is Drew Steele. Big D is over there on the other side of the glass. Nina's in the breaking newsroom. And if you want to watch at FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, Facebook, and Instagram, anytime you want to check out the program after hours, Florida's Voice with Drew Steele, the podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, wherever you get that thing. I mean, the podcast, not just anything. It's the podcast itself. Coming up, we're going to talk about the latest out of New York City. It's hysterical. Remember something. It's very, very important that you know this, that the media, one of their jobs is to cover for Democrats. Now, if you're like, oh, that's an outrageous thing to say. How dare you say that? Can you prove it? Sure. I'm going to prove it coming up. That you have Francesca Hong, the Wisconsin Democrat DSA member who is going to be the Democrat nominee to be the governor in Wisconsin. How she ran to CNN to get cover for some of the audio and clips that are out there that we've all been playing about how she's everything about the DSA, including some other things that we didn't know about, like, well, there's some interesting things that we can get to. And also, you have some others that are running to different places for cover, like Zoran Mamdani, who decided to go on Joy Reid's podcast, which is funny. Joy Reid used to be on MSNB, whatever they call themselves, and then she's gone. Now she's got a podcast, and she's like, hey, I'll help you. And so he goes on to her program for some help. Wait till you hear the help on something that he said just the other day about having ID to go to the city-run grocery stores, and then showing up on her program going, I didn't say anything like that. Now, I don't know about the part. I might have added that. But he might have done it. So, because, you know, you're a Republican, so you're ridiculous. That's the whole narrative there. You're a Republican, so this must be some kind of joke. No, it's not a joke. So I know. Go ahead, D.
Not a joke.
There you go. Knew that was coming. All right, all that coming up in just a second. But first, let's do this. Deborah Orton holding on the line with us. There she is right now, joining us on Florida's Voice, president of Friends of BERT, B-E-R-T, BERT. What is B-E-R-T? We're going to get to that and more. Hey, it's good to see you. How's everything?
Hey, thank you for having me. This is great. I'm excited.
Well, I appreciate you being here. So tell us about a little bit about BERT, when it was formed, and some of what is behind this idea.
There's so much to tell, so I'll try to keep it short, right?
Yeah.
So BERT is Bonita Estero Rail Trail. We purposely named it Bonita Estero Rail Trail just so that we could say BERT for short. Pretty catchy, good branding, that type of thing. So BERT is, goodness, we have been working on this since, I can't remember when, since 2021, I think we've been working to try to get this unused, overgrown rail corridor in Southwest Florida transformed into a rail to trail, parks, beautiful way to get to the river, get to Bonita Springs, elsewhere. So that's what we've been working on. And we're in this final stage of getting it funded. And so BERT is Bonita Estero Rail Trail. It's 11.5 miles. It's about 180 acres. of land that would be acquired. Some of it is going in Collier County. It'll be conservation land in Bonita Springs. You'll get to downtown Bonita that we're all loving so much. And in Estero, you get to the Estero River and to the mall, et cetera. So that's 11 and a half miles that we have been advocating for many years. And it looks like it's going to happen.
So this is literally like a rail line that's not being used that connects.
Correct.
And so the importance of this to Southwest Florida, where you are and where you're talking about this, is this to, well, maybe just tell me the importance of why Southwest Florida needs to have this.
Boy, thanks for asking, because one thing about Southwest Florida, especially Lee and Collier counties, is it's very dangerous to walk or ride your bike, et cetera, in Southwest Florida. So we're trying to build an area that's safe for cyclists, safe for walkers, safe for kids to get to school, that's away from traffic. So in my mind, I've lived in other parts of the country. So in my mind, we're way behind in terms of getting these types of infrastructure where people can be away from traffic to bike, to walk, to get to school, to get to the grocery store, to commute to their jobs. And that's what we're advocating for. And I run an organization called Friends of BERT, Friends of Bonita Estero Rail Trail. And the importance of it is, just like I said, safety, nature, and preserving this land so it doesn't get transformed into something else.
Right. So I want to say it's like 10 miles or 11 miles or something like that. I mean, it's a long...
Yeah, it's almost 12.
Okay.
It's almost 12.
Right. So
yeah, it's almost 12 miles, really wide.
So just to get an idea of how this works, because in my mind's eye, I'm thinking, so this is running as the rail runs through these towns. So you're running through Southwest Florida. It's not something that is far off. It's running through the town. So there is benefit to the community, not just the trail that you could create itself, but also for businesses. I mean, you could technically make your way to businesses from one section of Southwest Florida to another in a beautiful way.
And, I think about it too, exactly like you're saying. I'm a Venetian. I live in Bonita Springs, and downtown Bonita Springs has just really become a cool place to be. It's just difficult to get there and difficult to park, et cetera. For me, instead of driving, I could hop on this trail and get right to downtown Bonita Springs, or go up to Collier County, or eventually get all the way down into Naples. And when we do that on our bikes, we get more visitors, we get more tourism, and we get better business. I mean, the businesses really want this because they know what it'll do for their businesses.
Yeah. So the last two things I would ask you, first of all, this sounds so cool because, I envision this in such a way, like you described, that it really would link these areas together in such a unique way, a way to visit businesses, friends, the community itself, even places like Bonita, which is, for those that don't know, because we are a statewide radio program. And if you're outside of the area of Southwest Florida, and Bonita Springs has changed. I mean, I've lived here 40 years in this area. I've seen everything there is about Bonita. It's absolutely beautiful what they've done. It's incredible.
It's incredible.
It's a great place to visit. And so to have this kind of connection in the community is a big deal. So the 18th is such a huge day, obviously. And
it is.
Let's talk about the 18th, the importance, obviously, of the day. And then if people want to get more information, where do they go?
Sure. August 18th in Florida is a big day for a lot of reasons, right? In Bonita Springs, we have a ballot measure that will be the last piece to this puzzle that would get funding once the Bonita Springs residents vote for this ballot measure. We would have the funding to purchase and build this rail to trail. So it is the last piece. Estero has been able to already secure their piece. Collier County has already secured their funding. This is the last piece. So for me, August 18th is all about that. It's about a lot of things, but
I get it.
For me, it's all about that.
Right. I get it. And for listeners who want to get involved, who want to find out more, where can they go?
Yeah, go to BenitaEsteroRailTrail.com. We've got 4,000 friends of Bert, and we'd love to have 4,001, 4,010. So join us in our push for this.
That sounds great. All right, Deborah, great to see you. All the best. And
Thank you.
Hope we'll get a chance to talk about this soon again. All right?
Thank you.
All right, we'll see
Bye-bye.
you. That's Deborah Orton joining us here on Florida's Voice, president of Friends of Bert, B-E-R-T. So it's a very cool thing, I think, that they've got going on. So maybe check that out when you get a chance. All right, let's talk about some other things that are going on in New York City, like we brought up. So I guess the communist mayor of the city of New York, Mamdani. Okay, yeah, here we go.
His name is Zoran. He is a commie.
Yeah, we figured that out. So he had this city-run grocery store. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be beautiful. Oh, by the way, you need ID to get yourself in there. Wait, did he really say that? So again, there are some that are suggesting that what the mayor said, he never said. Okay, it's true that he didn't say it. Somebody else did. Let me get to this first. Here's what happened just the other day. New York City officials announce the price deals for the city-owned grocery stores. See, they're going to undercut everybody in the neighborhood. Well, all right, I'm going to give you sort of the lead here. A city-run grocery store, one of the main objectives, clearly, is to run everybody out of business. So you are the only place to go. That's socialism. That's communism. Socialism, the ways by which you conduct communism. See how that works? You're undercutting everybody else by 30%. Ultimately, that would be your goal. That's what commies do. So here you go. They're talking about the grocery store.
How are you going to keep people from taking advantage of that, that deal, basically? And is there going to be a limit on the number of items that someone can take that are discounted at that level from that essential basket?
So our RFP makes very clear that this is a program for New Yorkers to be able to put food on the table, not a program for people to be able to make a quick buck through reselling. I'm going to
You would think that would be the case.
Pass it over to our EDC head, Jeannie Pack, to add some additional details.
Okay, here you go. So here is the person that's not Mamdani who says this. Here, if you remember this from yesterday, here she comes to the mic.
Yes, if you look at our RFP for the operator, we are looking to make sure that we target New Yorkers, whether it be at sort of a library card-esque thing,
We target New Yorkers what?
Or that we target New Yorkers, whether it be at sort of a library card-esque thing.
A library card-esque thing. Oh, I see. So in order for you to go to this city-owned grocery store and purchase, you've got to have identification. Because if something were to happen, we need to make sure that we can find you. Like if we discover that you're on some kind of list and you bought from the store, and then all of a sudden maybe you get discovered that you're selling it on the streets or to buddies or somebody else. And that's a no-no. So we can find you. You need ID to get in. We want to see it. Okay. Here's the communist mayor of the city of New York, Zoran Mamdani, who goes on to Joy Reid's podcast. Whether or not anybody knows it exists, I don't know. I know it is, just so that I can play these clips. Like him, who is describing this on her program. And somebody put on, if you look at the bottom of the screen, D, can you see the bottom of the screen, what it says? You know, it's one of these podcasts where...
Little too tiny for me.
It says, I'm jealous of you, New Yorkers. The best mayor fighting for you all. That's like, when that's somebody on YouTube who's watching the program and it pops up on the screen. Anyway, I just thought that was funny. So here's Mamdani, who wants to let you know that, I never said that. I never said identification.
And we're talking about a city-run grocery store, one in each borough, which, by the way, you do not need an ID to shop at, no matter what you've just heard.
Yeah, what do you mean, no matter what you just heard? It was your own bureaucrat that said it. Are you denying it now?
The news of today, we're talking about actually addressing the question of skyrocketing grocery prices. We've seen in the last 6 or 7 years alone an increase in grocery prices of around 30%. And we are going to be delivering a city-run grocery store, 1 in each borough, 5 in total, that will have the staples of a shopping experience, an essential basket of goods that are discounted by 30%.
Now, let me just say a couple of things before I move on. Number one, he's lying. You just heard the audio. So no matter what anybody says, you're not going to have to show an ID. So are you backtracking now? So what you're admitting is you're a liar. Is that it? So you're lying about one or the other. Either they played the video clip on the podcast and he's like, nah, we're not going to do that. So she lied or you lied. Somebody lied. Why would you say that? Or you changed your mind because of the pressure of people going, wait a second, you hypocrite. We can't have identification when we vote, but you're going to have me identify myself if I've got to get the staples of life. And then there's the second part. That was 30 seconds of Zoran Mamdani doing what he does best. The smiling face, the nice coif there, the hair, the talk of how we just want to help everybody. You know and I know how tough it's been out there. It's been hard. Grocery prices, have you tried to buy beef? It's impossible for some people. There's a lot of things, staples, that are really, really hard to buy. And we don't want to blame anybody. No. We just want to help you. That's it. It's just about help. It's what you deserve. Now, D, when I put it that way, is that something you would disagree with?
No.
Exactly. That's the point. See, what the commies do, and they do it really, really well, is they put the smiley face, the happy face on the destruction of what is the mom and pops that are there in the 5 boroughs that are going to lose business now because of the city-run grocery store. The fact that the ultimate goal is to eliminate those businesses, so you have to go to a city-run store, just like you do in a communist nation. There is no other choice. But it's putting that fine, that nice face, the good look, the right attitude, the hey, I feel your pain, that whole thing that's going on. It's doing all of that to convince you that what we're trying to do is not what people are talking about. We're not trying to take business away from the mom and pops. We're not trying to destroy the way of life that you've always known in this country. We're not trying to do anything when it comes to the Constitution and the rule of law. No. We're not doing anything like that. They put a good face on it to convince you. It's true. That's what they're doing. And we're not buying it. Well, I'm not buying it. I don't think you're buying it either. All right, what else do we got going on? I know we got more on Francesca Hahn coming up. We'll do more on the DSA later in the program. Why don't we talk about, do we want to talk about this? I just want to make sure I have enough time. Yeah, I might wait a little while for this one. Okay. Yeah, there's some Florida stories out there I want to get to, so we're just going to wait just a little bit. Wanted to play this. So we know now about the Fauci diaries. We know that things got a little crazy during the pandemic. And
Dr. Fauci.
Yeah.
Give us vaccines.
People did that. They did it. And we heard about the Fauci diaries. We know that RFK Jr. was on with CNN and Dana Bash yesterday and talking about vaccines and the lies that CNN parrots, and to try to convince people that, you know, the media only knew what they were told by somebody who was either lying to them to their face, because we found out from the diary behind the scenes that Fauci knew about gain-of-function research. It was happening, and he was part of it. Knew of vaccine hesitancy as far as the damage that could be done by getting the vaccine, because he was damaged by the vaccine. The fact that it wasn't effective, and they were still going to push it because otherwise we can't get conformity, which is, really Marxist. And then other things. And so you have now the exhibition of what Fauci did, what the media did, what everybody did to us. So you have two choices. You either decide that you are really sorry about all of this in hindsight, in finding out about the diary, you want to come clean and say, look, I just was parroting what I was told at the time. But now that I found out what Fauci was doing to the country and the world, I'm so sorry that I did this. Can you forgive us? And then there's the other side where you double and triple down, like Dick Durbin. There's Senator Dick Durbin there on Capitol Hill as he is speaking about Dr. Fauci. And he says this.
Dr. Fauci is an example of American excellence.
No, not really. If excellence means lying to the American people, then that's he's excellent at it.
A brilliant scientific mind.
Really? How is he brilliant? No, seriously, like how? What's the evidence that he's brilliant as opposed to a bureaucrat that's been there for way too long?
And yet, the Republican Party has chosen to make this doctor, who saved countless lives, a political target.
Did he save countless lives? Are we sure about that? Like positive about it? Because again, in the diary and the damage that the vaccines did, and what happened with kids and schools, and the fact that maybe there's a measles outbreak going on across the globe because people were locked down and they didn't get their kids the shots that they needed, the MMR, let's just say. They didn't get those shots, and so you have this uptick in measles cases, as RFK Jr. was describing, and others. Is that a possibility? Or?
Last week, the Senate Committee on Homeland Security and Government Affairs subpoenaed Dr. Fauci in front of the Congress for a hearing.
Yep.
With the express goal of humiliating and vilifying him.
No, the express goal was getting to the truth.
For nearly 3 hours.
I can't do it. Okay, you get the idea. That's Dick Durbin, who instead of going, man, I'll tell you what, we read the diary, we see the evidence, and we're so sorry about what we did. No, doubling, tripling down. You know, it's been 10 days right now. About 10 days, 11 days, 12 days. How many days is it? I don't know. Since Fauci was on Capitol Hill. Nobody's saying a peep about a lot of different things, including the connections with Jake Tapper. Hey, has Jake Tapper mentioned anything about the dinners? Data Bash or anybody else saying anything about the friendship building and the back channeling with the media? And I don't know. I'm waiting for what's his name? The Stelter guy, who I think has a show still on CNN, likes to break things. I mean, breaking news and go after Republicans and Trump and all these different things. And how about this? So what you've done now is you make believe like nothing happened at all. Of course, at the time, you were more than happy to bring up names and humiliate people and make them look bad. You had Aaron Rodgers yesterday. We played the audio. He was on ESPN on one of those shows when he was talking about Fauci and, what a creep, what a liar, all the things we found out, pleading the fifth and the like. Remember how Aaron Rodgers back in 2021 was treated? The great Maze Moore had this on his X account. Check this out.
Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers now admitting he has not been vaccinated against coronavirus after contracting the virus earlier this week. But instead of admitting that he had misled the public to believe he had been vaccinated, Rodgers is now blaming the, quote, woke mob for how he's being treated, perhaps creating a new definition for the term cheesehead.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to get an apology out of that guy. And at the time, now we know that he was being coached, a little friendship building with Fauci, allegedly. Yeah, guess we're not getting it, huh?
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
A lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you could get both, why not? Especially when it comes to healthcare, and that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. That's because MediShare works. It has for more than 30 years. It's a community of Christians who have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth. They love the huge PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Just call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE 40. 855-SHARE-40.
Hey, Max, you look absolutely dashing in that purple tie. Ready to harness the world?
You bet, Daisy. I'm ready as I'll ever be. And might I say, your purple tie really pops with your vest.
Thanks. I almost went with a cape, but didn't want to come across as pretentious.
Nonsense. Anyone in our line of work should rock a cape.
You might be onto something, Max.
Phew, so here we go. First day on the job. We've got this, right?
Right. Don't forget, we both graduated from Dogs Inc. with honors.
Which means I can guide my human around a busy city with ease.
And I can give my human a restful night.
I hope my human is kind and loving.
And I hope mine likes wet kisses and zoomies.
Ready to make a difference?
Born ready. Let's go.
Discover how extraordinary dogs like Daisy and Max change lives at no cost to the recipients. Visit dogsinc.org.
After my injury, I lost my sense of purpose.
I lost the ability to tuck my daughters into bed.
Homes for Our Troops build specially adapted homes with features that allow our veterans to function independently and focus on their recovery and family. This life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free thanks to our donors and supporters.
Homes for Our Troops gave me a home where I can be a dad.
Homes for Our Troops gave me a brighter future.
We need you to join us too in completing this important mission. Learn more at hfotusa.org.
I'm Chris Jakovic. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. Being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA. It is really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families. And one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Since the dawn of time, man and wildlife have shared a connection. And hunting traditions passed down from generation to generation have connected man to the natural world. From bow and arrow to hook and bullet, as man evolved, our link to those traditions remains. Yet today, our basic instinct to provide and as part of the hunt, to conserve and appreciate the natural world has fallen under attack for the first time in human history. Misguided politicians and radical activists pushing an agenda to end hunting as we know it are leading a war against our heritage. In their misguided policies and protests, they demonize hunters and belittle our way of life. The result? Hunters leaving the sport in droves while our wildlife and ecosystems suffer the consequences as conservation funding dries up. Named after the father of the North American model for wildlife conservation, the International Order of T. Roosevelt is fighting in the arena to protect and expand the rights of hunters everywhere. We will fight back against these forces to make sure that every American has a right to hunt, enshrined in their state constitutions. We will educate the next generation in our traditions and seek to expand accessibility so that everyone can enjoy our pastimes. And we will continue to hold true to our namesake's efforts to protect, preserve, and ensure open access to our nation's wildlands. Teddy Roosevelt's vision for American conservation defines our modern hunting and conservation system. A system upheld by the idea that conservation efforts are crucial to our hunting way of life, and that hunters are crucial to successful conservation.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? It's time to shift gears and seize the fresh opportunities this new pro-business environment has to offer. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and the team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you, helping you go on the offense with advanced tax strategies, thoughtful risk management, and forward-thinking financial planning. Imagine enjoying the retirement lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve, all while staying one step ahead and in a changing world. You've got to do it. Alfie and his team design personalized strategies to strengthen your financial foundation so you can focus on living life on your terms. Ready to find out more? Text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, you can call or text 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and see how a proactive approach can help you thrive no matter what the market does next. Don't wait. Call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470 right now.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
All right, anytime you want to check out the program after hours, you can go to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele, the podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. All right, top of the news from the Florida's Voice newsroom right now.
Top of the news, Florida's headlines. Now.
And for the last time today, AP Anita Padilla is in the Florida's Voice newsroom. Let's see what's up. What's up?
Hey there, Drew. Topping the news right now, the Senate Judiciary Committee has advanced the nomination of Todd Blanche to serve as U.S. Attorney General. The committee voted 12-10 right along party lines, as you would expect, sending Blanche's nomination to the full Senate for a confirmation vote. Now, Blanche is currently serving as the acting Attorney General and previously represented President Donald Trump as his personal defense attorney. Two Republican senators who had raised concerns about a Justice Department fund changed their position after Blanche rescinded the program. Republicans do say that Blanche would provide stability at the Justice Department. Well, Florida just won a major legal victory after a full federal appeals court upheld the state's law restricting minors from attending certain adult live performances. The 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals ruled in favor of the state in a lawsuit that had been brought by the operator of Hamburger Mary's in Orlando. Now, Florida's Attorney General James Othmeyer is praising the ruling, saying that the court affirmed the state's efforts to protect children from sexually explicit performances. Republican Party of Chairman Evan Power is calling that decision a victory for Florida families, saying that the state's going to continue to support the law. U.S. Representative Byron Donalds receiving the endorsement of 13 county property appraisers across Florida as he campaigns for governor. The local officials say they support Donalds because of his focus on affordability, taxpayer protection, and government accountability. The group includes property appraisers from counties like Lee, Brevard, Lake, Sarasota, and Seminole. Of course, Donalds is seeking the Republican nomination for governor in 2026, and the primary is just 2 weeks from today on August 18th. All right, that's a look at your news headlines at 4:35. I'm Anita Padilla, the news director here at Florida's Voice. Drew, back over to you.
All right, AP, we appreciate you there in the Florida's Voice newsroom. Anytime you want to check out the stories that they are working on, flvoicenews.com. That's Florida's Voice, the website. Yeah, and speaking of Todd Blanche, let's see if we can play a little bit of this. As by a 12-10 vote, he's moving on for confirmation. And this is Senator Thom Tillis, who today on the vote, let's just hear a little bit about what he had to say, this committee vote on Todd Blanche serving as Attorney General.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Senator Cornyn. I am by no means going to match up against Senator Cornyn, a lawyer and a former judge, except to say that I believe that we have addressed the concerns that I have. The first one I called the payout pot for punks. I've never liked this 1776 fund. It made no sense to me, and I thought it was an insult to the police officers and the people that defended us on January the 6th.
How? No, seriously. So there's Thom Tillis, who's upset about a fund, an anti-weaponization fund, through an administration that cares about the people who were treated horribly during January 6th. And everybody knows it by an administration, the Biden administration. And somehow Thom Tillis is like, yeah, I don't get it. I just explained it, sir.
It's done. It's been rescinded, and I am satisfied. I also feel like Senator Cornyn addressed the other piece of it that has to do with the audit to my satisfaction. You know, the thing that interests me, and I'm kind of curious about the speeches that come after here, is how everybody has this view of they are as pure as the driven snow, and it's the other side that has a problem. I think we both have a problem, folks.
Yeah, nobody's perfect, and nobody is as clean as the wind-driven snow. But I'm pretty sure that Democrats have a lot of dirty snow, and maybe the kind of snow that you don't eat, look it up, kids, than we do. I'm just saying. I really think so. By the way, again, this is Tom Tillis. Tom Tillis, who's not going to be in the Senate much longer, along with John Cornyn, both who seem to be, all of a sudden, very moderate in their positions. Since the president of the United States, not exactly fans, and we haven't been really either, because they've been pushing against the Trump agenda for far too long, and now they seem a little hurt. And interesting positions. Yeah, go ahead. Let me just hear a little bit more, and then we'll move on.
If you want to talk about weaponization, take a look at the Biden administration.
Yeah, we have been. That's what we're talking about.
Take a look at the Obama administration.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Take a look at Crossfire Hurricane. Take a look at the codes that Lois Lerner used in the IRS to target businesses to try and unbank them.
Yeah.
Take a look at the prospective pardons on the way out the door that President Biden did for family members, for staff members in Congress.
And Fauci.
The bottom line is nobody is clean here. And until we start recognizing this behavior as bad, we're just going to one-up it.
Yeah, I don't like your attitude, sir. I don't like it. I mean, there is one thing to be said about everybody's dirty, nobody's clean here. Yeah, but on the other side of this is what the one side, who's really dirty and not clean, what kind of consequences that they've had for the actions that they've taken. See, it feels to us, all right, let me not speak for you. Feels to me like Republicans far too often will make sure that if someone we are told by the left shouldn't be in Congress, out they go. The media, Democrat pressure. Doesn't matter if we explore the evidence or anything. We're just tossing this person out because they're upset. The media is upset. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. And so we're always above board. You know, we're the good side. And so we're going to make sure that we clean house and do all of these different things. You know, when you have all the things that he described, Crossfire Hurricane, Trump-Russia collusion hoax, he didn't describe that, I did, among other things that the Biden administration, the Obama administration did, how much have they done to clean their house? None. How much have they done, let's just say, to stop it from even happening now? None. How many people were prosecuted when all of these terrible, horrible things were going on? How many people have we seen perp walked?
You know?
I know, Hills. Yeah, none. So forgive me, I'm a little bitter, or sounded, because I am. Don't give the both sides are bad, both sides are terrible. No. Let's not do that. Let's make sure we call out what hasn't been done by the side that isn't as clean as the wind-driven snow and has no, what I like to say is something that's so important in life, repentance. It's a big one. Look it up. Okay, what else? All right, anytime you want to watch it, FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, Facebook, and Insta. All right. Dee, do you want to get into a little bit more of the headlines that are making me crazy, like a little bit on Spain or maybe even climate change fun? Or do you want to get into a feel-good story right now?
How dare you?
I didn't. That was very...
How dare you?
Well, you were a little off-key, but you were close. Do you want to do that one first, or do you want to do a feel-good story?
Let's go.
You want to feel... Oh, you want the climate stuff? Okay. I was going to
Bring on the climate stuff.
All right. I was going to give you a feel-good story. So... remember, when it comes to climate change, we all know that whatever the left around the globe thinks, whatever they say and talk about with regard to it, it is like gospel. Like, we just have to follow it. You know, the science, follow the science and the scientists. So if you have a group of scientists who are saying the earth is just heating up, it's boiling up, we're going to have Antarctica and all of these different places that are going to be melting, and it's just going to be horrible. And it's all because of climate change, and we got to do something about it. You got to follow that. But if we get some news that is the opposite, like what we just found out the other day from Smithsonian Magazine, the New York Post, and other places, where Antarctica's Concordia Research Station recorded a temperature that was the coldest temperature on Earth since 2012. Wait, which is it? Are we melting or are we freezing? That's why we call it climate change. See, we used to call it what do we used to call it, D? When
global warming.
Right. It used to be global warming. And then when they figured out that wasn't going to work, then we had to call it, climate change. Because now we've got cold snaps and cold temperatures and record-setting colds. And what do we do about that? Well, we don't follow the experts. We know that. As a matter of fact, it was some of the experts that were telling us that as far as some wildfires were concerned, it absolutely positively was climate change. As a matter of fact, it was yesterday when Washington State Governor Jay Inslee was talking about the Spokane wildfires that are going on. They're really bad. And how we all know that it's got to be climate change because he says so.
It's a beautiful morning here in Lopez Island, but I'm so concerned. Talked to my friend, a legislator in Spokane, whose home he had to evacuate because of these massive fires in Spokane County. The whole state's under threat now.
Yeah, yep.
Climate change.
Climate change. See that, D? Climate change. Hey, D, are you watching the screen right now? Do you see?
I am.
Yeah. So if you're looking at the person on the left, that's Jay Inslee. I'm describing this for the people that are driving or listening in the office, or if you are at home listening, we appreciate it. At FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble X, Facebook, and Instagram. If you want to watch, many of you are listening on the radio, and we appreciate it. See, on the left is Jay Inslee. He's the governor there. He's talking about it was because of climate change. The guy on the right, I think his name is Change, first name Climate. Why? Because that's the dude that got arrested for arson. Like, that's the dude that started the fires. There he is. I guess his name is Climate Change. Last name Change, first name Climate.
How dare you?
No, don't how dare me. Because even the Spokane police were talking about it, the sheriff's office. Now, here's the super frustrating part. So we've got the coldest temperatures recorded since 2012 in Antarctica. But don't tell anybody because I thought it was global warming. But that's okay because it's climate change instead of cooling. So it's the warming causing the cooling, as someone famously once said. I think that was Al Gore. And you have Jay Inslee, who's the governor of the state of Washington, who blamed climate change on the Spokane fires, only to find out that somebody set the fires, an arsonist, and had since been arrested. But here's the doozy. You buckled up for this, D? Here's the Spokane County Sheriff who's talking about it.
Investigation began at the beginning of the fire on August 1st. Thankfully, we had some very aware and alert citizens. They were driving into the area where the fire started near Euclid and... I'm trying to remember the name of the street.
Old Trail.
Old Trail and Euclid.
Yeah.
The witness, a citizen, very good citizen, noticed a male standing on the side of the road looking into the trees.
Okay, so they noticed the male looking in the trees. He looks suspicious. So they called the police.
Male bending down by the side of the road. The witnesses there did a fantastic job of returning to the scene. They contacted an Airway Heights police officer, gave that police officer a description of the suspect, including a physical description and a clothing description. That description was broadcast to units in the area. And be mindful, at the time, this was a very active, very early stages of the fire. So officers and deputies in the area were focusing on getting people out of the area to protect life as a first priority. Mr. Farnacci was contacted in the area about 1.5 miles from where the fire started. And was detained. Questioned. And ultimately released.
No! And there it is, D. So Mr. Change, climate change, otherwise known as whatever the guy's last name is, really. So you got a bystander, sees a suspicious dude, call the police. The police find him. They see that he's got, all the things that you would need to create a fire. And they questioned him and they released him. He was carrying waterproof matches and a butane lighter. They lacked the evidence, so they let him go. Mr. Change, climate change as he's known, started the fire. Oh my.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Did you know VA home loans are a key to home ownership for those who served?
The first moment I walked into my home, I could hear my footsteps echo off the back wall. The first thing I thought in my head was, man, furniture is going to be real expensive. The VA not requiring any down payment prior to buying the home allowed me to take that money I had budgeted to go out and buy furniture, food, cleaning supplies, pretty much everything I needed. Purchasing a home is scary, but ultimately it's not impossible, and they make it so that anybody can do it.
To learn more, visit va.gov/home loans.
For 25 years, the Library of Congress Veterans History Project has collected and preserved the experiences of America's heroes. From original letters to oral histories, these first-hand accounts bring history to life, one voice at a time. With over 120,000 stories collected, each reveals the courage, sacrifice, and service of our veterans, but many remain untold. Help our nation reach 125,000. Share a story. Ensure a legacy. Visit loc.gov/vets today.
A lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you could get both, why not? Especially when it comes to health care, and that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. That's because MediShare works. It has for more than 30 years. It's a community of Christians who have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth. They love the huge PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Just call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
When I was 19 and I was going to shows, I was not thinking about permanent hearing loss. I wasn't thinking about tinnitus.
Sometimes my kids are having a conversation with me and that ringing starts in my ear. They're talking to me and I hear their voice, but I can't focus on what they're saying.
The audiologist, he told me that most of his clients are not old people. They're kids that have their earphones in.
I have a lot of regret about not protecting my ears sooner.
Protect your ears at all times, no matter what. It's not something you can get back.
Some journeys start small, with small pause and big purpose.
Look how little fly, you sweet girl.
Every great partnership begins with the first step.
Yeah, let's go.
Guiding them through the world so one day they can guide someone through life. With shared experience, confidence grows, and the path becomes clear. It takes time, patience, and love. But the reward lasts a lifetime.
Hey, good girl, Dad.
You don't just raise a puppy. You raise a future. Become a Dogs Inc. puppy raiser. Give a dog a purpose. Give someone hope.
Learn more at dogsinc.org.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Listen, I've lived in Southwest Florida long enough to know that when I needed countertops, you go to the best. Who's the best? Rock Solid on J&C Boulevard in Naples. First of all, Rock Solid's consultants, I wasn't really sure what I wanted, but I knew that they were knowledgeable, gave me all the information I needed to make the best decision. I love that fabrication is done on premises. It's not like they're subbing out the job to some third party, right? If you're looking for countertops, backsplash, you know where to go. Rock Solid, J&C Boulevard, Naples.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Tonight we're gonna do something that even Jimmy would say is crazy. I'm buying every single person here a cruise for 2 people on the boat. Every single person here gets a cruise for themselves and a loved one to go on the boat. This is the biggest giveaway in history, ladies and gentlemen, here tonight at Fenway Park. Make sure you get your ticket and you hit the code, and we'll see you out on the water for sure.
What? D, did you hear about this? Do you know who the Zach Brown?
No.
Okay, do you know the Zach Brown band?
Of course.
Oh, okay. Well, that was my second choice. Yeah, so the Zach Brown band was doing a show Sunday at Fenway Park, famously known.
Boston.
Yeah, Boston. And he surprised the entire audience with a cruise for two on, I guess, Jimmy Buffett Margaritaville, like, cruise ship?
That sounds pretty incredible.
It is incredible.
To everyone besides the family of four that went.
So how? Yeah, I was just gonna say, what if somebody's in the crowd and they're like, "Oh no, we just spent all this money. Can we get the money back?" What if if they were gonna go on one anyway? So I guess there's a collaboration that he did with the late Jimmy Buffett called Same Boat, a 2022 collab. And just before he played that, he's like, "Hey, everybody's gonna get a cruise," and people are like, "What?" $40 million it cost them, according to
pocket change for them.
Yeah, that's it. So I guess they go to, it's Margaritaville at sea, and so in the next 12 months you have to go and you redeem it with your ticket. So yeah, number one, that's very, very cool, very nice. Number two, if you go to a concert, do you keep your ticket, or do you typically just toss the ticket? Like once you're at the show,
them.
You keep them.
I collect tickets.
Oh, you're one of those guys. All right, so so every concert you go, do you put it like in a frame or something like that?
Yeah, it's like a box.
Okay, but
I don't go to concerts. I'm talking like sports games and things like that.
But not a frame. Like you don't frame it unless it's signed by the artist.
It's not up on the wall, no.
Okay,
it's just in a box.
How many concerts have you been to? This is interesting to me.
I'm not, like I said, I'm not a big concert guy. I save the sports tickets, the Broadway shows.
What's the one
like
that what's your most prized possession?
A ticket that I went to?
Yeah, like you tell people all the time, I went to go see blah, blah, blah.
I don't go to concerts.
Well, no, the sporting event, whatever you went to, you save all these tickets. Is there one that you're like, oh yeah, I remember when I went to that, like it was your favorite?
Oh, Rangers playoff game.
Okay.
That was definitely cool.
Okay. So that was that was recently? I mean, they've been in, okay. The only reason why I'm asking is because, and I'm serious, it's so funny that this comes full circle, this conversation. I'm talking to my father-in-law Sunday at his house with my wife. We're talking about life and family members and different things. And, he was talking about how, with your mother, my father-in-law saying, we had a really fun experience when we went to see Elvis's last show. I was like, wait, what? Yeah, you didn't know that? No. So he went when, Elvis's last tour. And I guess they were in Indiana, I guess.
He has a ticket?
I don't know. Now that I'm thinking about this, I got to find out. So, yeah, they went to go see Elvis. And he was like, boy, was he big. And he was wearing that outfit. And it just didn't fit. And everybody knew it. But he sounded great. But I thought, wow. At the time, at the time you probably thought this is one of the coolest shows because Elvis was still, back then he was still big. But can you imagine that? It's that conversation. I think I went to a Rangers playoff game recently. I went to see Elvis. All right, you win.
I give up.
I give up. You win. Thanks for playing.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
My name is Corporal Bradley Joseph Seitz.
Jerry Reed.
Kate Weber.
These are real veterans facing a real challenge.
I have PTSD.
And I have PTSD.
I have PTSD.
Post-traumatic stress disorder can happen to anyone.
I was still in a war zone in my mind.
But treatment can turn your life around.
Treatment has really saved my life.
To learn about PTSD and how treatment can help you, call your local VA medical center or visit ptsd.va.gov.
The best words to hear at the TSA security checkpoint?
you're good to go. So check before you jet. Avoid delays at TSA security checkpoints by making sure you have an acceptable form of ID. That means a real ID, passport, or other acceptable forms of identification.
Visit tsa.gov/ID to check the full list of acceptable IDs. Avoid travel delays by checking ID requirements, and you're good to go.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele. Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Congratulations on your show. Congratulations on your new show. Big deal, huh?
That's why shows like yours are so important.
We have an independent county elected sheriff that's the head of law enforcement in Jacksonville/Duval County. And I know how to work toward making this city safe.
We can't be shy about speaking on things such as faith and politics. We have to remember, in a free society, the public square belongs to all of us.
I'm not interested in North Florida looking like Orlando or Miami. I love where we live, but I think that good jobs means that people that live in this district can stay in this district.
Fishing and hunting is funding a large part of your conservation projects in Florida, and we want to make sure that those are forever preserved.
And the problem with this industry at this point is that they actually target our youth. You can see it in their marketing strategies, where it's bright colors, fun names.
And that's going to be endlessly litigated.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
What does life after service look like? Kicking back? Taking it easy? We believe it looks a little different. Fighting for all veterans. Making sure they get the benefits and care they've earned. Rebuilding communities after disaster strikes. And adapting to support today's veterans. Meeting them where they are. The VFW. Still leading. Still advancing. Still serving. Get involved at stillserving.org.
I can trace family members who served from World War I to today, each one helping shape who I am. My family chose to share their stories with the Library of Congress Veterans History Project. Voices, letters, and memories that bring their service to life. Searching for their stories was easy. You can discover powerful stories too, told through the voices of America's veterans. Explore, remember, and share at loc.gov/vets.
Half of young adults are at risk of hearing damage from loud sounds. So why is this happening? We know not to bake in the sun for hours and to get our eyes checked regularly. We buckle up to save lives. And we know that smoking kills. So do poor diet choices and poor life choices. But why are we so reckless with our hearing? We take hearing for granted. Hearing damage from loud sounds is permanent, but preventable. We take common sense steps for our health every day. Let's make hearing part of it. Wear earplugs. Turn it down. Give your ears a rest. Love your ears. Learn more at hearinghealthfoundation.org. Keep listening.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and I have to tell you, when my wife and I talked about getting new kitchen countertops for our house, we know who to call. Rock Solid Countertops and More, 2240 J&C Boulevard in Naples. And they have been absolutely amazing. Hugo and the team are the best. The workmanship has been absolutely incredible. The install was so easy. The process was perfect. Taking everything out, bringing the new stuff in. The quartz countertop is unbelievably beautiful, and my wife is super happy, I'll tell you. You know they have the best quality and selection of marble, quartz, granite, and a one-stop shop for all of your kitchen, outdoor, and bathroom needs. I've known it for years. I've lived in Southwest Florida 40 years. There was really only one place I was going to go. It's Rock Solid Countertops and More. I would suggest you give them a call, 596-7676. They're at 2240 J&C Boulevard in Naples. Find out what they can do for you. Countertops, cabinets, plantation shutters, they do it all. Rock Solid Countertops and More.
The other day, a man called saying my electric was way past due. He threatened to turn off my power if I didn't buy a gift card to pay the bill. I said, look, fella, I wasn't born yesterday. Gift cards are for gifts, not for paying bills, and I'm sure as heck not buying you a gift. So I hung up on the crook, and my lights never went out. Know the signs of scams and leave scammers in the dust. If someone asks for a gift card as payment, it's likely a scam. A public service message from the Better Business Bureau.
We all have someone we love, like the favorite lyric in our favorite song. You can't imagine life without them. Cancer screening tests can help keep the person you love around longer by detecting changes before cancer develops, or catch it early when it may be easier to treat. And many tests are available for free or are covered by insurance. It's time to sound like a broken record. Tell all your friends and family, I love you. Get screened. Visit cancer.org/getscreened to learn more.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you could get both, why not? Especially when it comes to healthcare, and that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. That's because MediShare works. It has for more than 30 years. It's a community of Christians who have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth. They love the huge PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Just call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE 40. 855-SHARE-40.
Thank you for waking us all up out here, for all you do.
Thank you for giving us a voice.
For being out there helping keep the constitutional republic. I want to thank you for
your support for veterans in the military.
Educating us.
Standing up for conservatism.
Giving us the truth.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Well, hey, everybody. Glad you're joining us today on Florida's Voice. My name is Drew Steele. Big D's over there on the other side of the glass. You got Nina in the breaking newsroom and you hanging out with us at FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, Facebook, and Instagram. Show goes up after the show, Florida's Voice with Drew Steele. That's the podcast. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. I'm doing it again, D. I'm doing this whole thing with my hand. When I start the program, I'm like a conductor.
A little crazy.
Is that a little weird? Does that bother you as much as it bothers me?
I said crazy, but now that you say it is a little weird.
It is weird. I do this. I don't know why I'm doing that. It's talking.
Blame the Italian.
I said talking with my hands. It's an Italian thing. Am I allowed to say that? All right. Anyway, coming up, we're going to talk about the DSA. We're going to get into some of the things that we're discovering about how the media, here's the key, here's the lead, the media protects their own. The media protects their own. That's what they're doing with Francesca Hong, who is a hot mess right now. And I'll prove it coming up in just a bit. Also, that Nick Shirley news that was out there. Nick Shirley ends up in Morocco. Not Morocco, but in Quetta, Spain. Like, how did that Asuda? However you say, I'm always pronouncing it wrong, D. Do you know how to say it? Ceuta? It's
Quetta?
Quetta? I want to say Quetta, but I don't know why I say it wrong. Anyway, Nick Shirley is there just to check on things. Like, hey, I wonder if it's true what's going on. Let me show up. So Nick Shirley was there. Wait till you hear what he discovered if you hadn't heard it yet. But first, why don't we start with this? A little bit of fun, because there was a Pete Buttigieg viewing here.
Buttigieg.
Not a viewing, but a sighting. That's the word I was looking for. But anyway, it was a view to a sighting that we had of Pete Buttigieg. He was on Diary of a CEO podcast. Have you heard of that, D? Diary of a CEO.
I have.
Yeah, it's a very, very popular, big, huge podcast. I
like the host there.
Yeah, I forget the guy's name, but he's very likable. I don't know what his political affiliation is, if he has one at all. He's the British dude. Seems very nice. And that's all I need to know. And he asks very good questions. He's very inquisitive. And for some reason, he decided that Pete Buttigieg was the person to have on the... Okay, yeah, I know.
Buttigieg.
And again, why he's on the show. For those that don't know, the Diary of a CEO podcast, I guess, is one, D, where they have a lot of like... I know how you can grow your hair in 15 minutes. If you do this specific exercise, your legs will get longer. Like that kind of thing. Like he has a lot of those people on there, and then people...
More or less, yes.
More or less. Or people that discover things, health and well-being, and CEOs of companies. Okay. So here he has Pete Buttigieg, and this was very interesting. He made the news for this today because we're still doing this. We know where Democrats are going to go if they get into office, whether it's a DSA member, the communist Marxist socialist angle of it, or the communist Marxist socialist light angle of it, which is the current formation of people in leadership who somehow think that they're going to be the next president of the United States. AOC and Pete Buttigieg are number 1 and 1A in the lead right now in the polling on who could be the next president the next nominee on the Democrat side. Let's not get carried away. So the host asks him,
"You're keen to remove the Electoral College and do it based on numbers, the quantity of votes for either presidential candidate?"
And I still can't believe that anybody considers this radical.
Yeah, it is radical. So here we go again. We got to get rid of the Electoral College. Why don't we listen to Mayor Pete tell us exactly why he doesn't understand why this is such a radical idea, getting rid of something that constitutionally our founding fathers wanted to do to make sure that there was fairness in elections so that people just don't go to the big states and campaign and leave the little states alone and the representation wouldn't be equal. That's part of it. But let's see what Pete Buttigieg thinks.
To me, there's nothing radical about thinking the person who gets the most votes ought to be the winner. But I think people haven't thought through how much benefit would come from that.
Oh, I can't wait to hear. Hey, buckle up, everybody. Why don't we listen to Pete Buttigieg and find out exactly why there would be such benefit from letting the masses vote, like having it instead of having a constitutional republic. Let's just do democracy like everybody else does around the globe. Majority wins, everybody. Let's see what's the benefit there, Petey.
If we did that, there are so many votes in red and blue states that you couldn't ignore anymore. Like if you were running for president as a Democrat, you'd have to go to Texas.
Yeah, you would. And you should go there now. This is so good. Go ahead.
Yeah. And even if Texas is still going to vote mostly for Republicans, you'd have to turn out every Democratic vote you could.
You're not trying to do that now? You're not trying to convince people politically?
In Texas. And I just think we'd be so much better off if a Republican and Democratic candidate were competing over Texas. And by the
how about competing over Iowa or New Hampshire? What about that? Do you see the point? He looks at it as we'd all be competing over the big states. That's the point. You just made the point, Petey. That's it. The point is that you don't want people just focusing on California and Texas and Florida. Although we're awesome, you should be focusing on us. What about smaller states? Go ahead.
New York. Even if New York is definitely going to vote more for Democrats, a Republican candidate would have to come to New York. And states from Alaska to Rhode Island, so it's small states too, they get ignored now.
No, they don't get ignored. That is the antithesis of why we do that. Like that. No, you don't pack the courts. You don't get rid of the Electoral College. Can't believe that people think this is radical. Well, I don't know. The founders didn't think it was radical. They thought it was fair. And we've got the best system that you could possibly have on the planet right now, no doubt. Why do you want to change it? And by the way, for the millionth time, to make the obvious point, why don't we just pack the court now? Right, D? Why don't we have President Trump say, with a majority on the House and Senate side, let's get 5 more Justice Alitos and 5 more Clarence Thomas. Let's have 10 more justices and let's do it right now. Let's go. Why not? Do you get it now? See, if the Democrats get control, they want to do it, and everybody's got to sit back and say, oh, this is brilliant. This is smart. I mean, this is what we should be doing. It's not fair otherwise. If President Trump tomorrow said, you know what? I think we need to make a big part of the campaign. We're going to stack the court right after January. Boom. We're going to stack the court, and we're going to bring in all kinds of conservative justices. Yeah. Hey, D, you think there would be a freak out, or would everybody be cool with that? You think
freak out would be an understatement.
Yeah, I think it would be. I could see buildings burning and windows
I
being
could see
smashed.
more impeachments.
Yeah, that's right. You could see a lot of things that wouldn't be good. You get it now? Okay. And one other thing about Pete Buttigieg that we like.
Buttigieg.
All right.
Buttigieg.
I know. Yes, Nina's all excited. She loves that clip. Here's Pete Buttigieg because he's being asked about trains. You know, they got a lot of trains in Europe. I think that's where he is. I think that's where the podcast is. This Diary of a CEO thing is. I don't know. But I mean, the guy's British, so he likes trains. So here's Pete Buttigieg's idea of why we don't have enough trains in this country and why we could if we just did one thing.
Cat and mouse, right? Whenever we figure out a way to make sure you can't hide all of your wealth or all of your income from being fairly taxed, very wealthy people will figure out some other place to hide it.
Yeah.
And then we'll have to develop a new policy to deal with that. But I guess my point is that's okay. Too often we have just hesitated to do anything, refused to do anything because it might be hard or because it might not last.
Yeah.
But if the idea that somebody will figure out a way around this law meant that you shouldn't have the law, that would be an argument against having any law.
Oh, ooh. So the idea that if somebody can get around this law, we shouldn't have any law. You mean like the Save America Act? Like that kind of thing? Like I don't know. Maybe I'm off base on that.
So it's messy. It's hard. But I am sure that if we had a more reasonable rate of taxation on capital gains and on corporate income, and if we made it harder to pass along wealth without, especially inherited wealth, without paying any taxes on it.
Why?
Or some of these other maneuvers like this borrowing thing you're talking about, we would have a fairer country because we'd still have capitalism. There'd still be lots of motivation and lots of reason to innovate and build a business and create jobs and do all the things that very wealthy people have done. And also, we would be out of this doom loop we're in where they're saying, well, we can't possibly have as good healthcare as other countries. We couldn't possibly do something like, I don't know, fast trains here in the United States. We couldn't possibly have rural hospitals be properly funded or public education. Of course we can.
So Pete Buttigieg's whole idea here is that we just need to tax people more and we can have really cool stuff like high-speed rail and trains. We just need more taxation. Have you been to California at all? Do you understand what's going on there with high-speed rail and the boondoggle? And yeah, it's a funny thing on the way to socialism and to being a Democrat. Your answer to everything is we just need more money. It's never, hey, we can cut things. It's never, hey, let's get rid of the fraud and the waste and abuse. That would be insulting. I feel like he's insulting. I feel insulted. I want to move on. All right. Anytime you want to watch it, FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble X, Facebook, and Instagram. I don't know if this is insulting to some people. I don't know if they feel like this is weird. First of all, Oliver Larkin, I guess, is a Democratic socialist. He's running for Congress in the 25th Congressional District here in the state. And here's a little bit of him lately on TikTok or Instagram or whatever. Here he is.
It's Oliver Larkin here, Democratic candidate for Florida's 25th Congressional District.
Yeah, what about you?
And I am signing.
What are you signing?
The Abolish ICE Pledge.
The Abolish ICE Pledge.
Tomorrow evening at Florida International University's Biscayne campus, we're going to be having an immigration town hall.
Okay, that was in July. I just thought that was funny. It popped up on my feed. So the guy that's running as a Democrat, Oliver Larkin, is signing a pledge to abolish ICE. How many Democrats in the state of Florida signed that pledge and proudly signed it? You know, the virtue signaling, the, hey, I'm going to do the right thing by you. And for those that think that there are like moderate Democrats in the state, like the Democrats in the state of Florida are much different than the ones around the country. You sure about that? That's why we don't want people like David Jolly anywhere near the governor's mansion. Thank you very much. We don't need any of that. We need smooth sailing. We need a legislature that can get things done and signed off by the governor instead of having, chaos, so to speak. So there's that. And then one other thing. Actually, a couple of other things. Dee, did you see the First Coast Connect video from yesterday with Republican candidate for Florida Governor Byron Donalds?
The Donalds video?
Yeah, did you see this? For those that haven't had a chance to see this, this was First Coast. I guess it was what is it, like their NPR, the affiliate there on the First Coast. Congressman Byron Donalds is there. And they're going to take calls from people in the audience. Here's some calls.
We've got a call from Thomas in Jacksonville. Good morning, Thomas. Go ahead.
There's Thomas. Let's see what Thomas has to say.
Well, good morning, Ann. Good morning, Congressman Donalds. Happy first day of early voting.
Can I stop for a second? Hey, D.
You hear that voice before?
Thomas sounds familiar. Sounds like James Fishback. What's going on here?
Congressman Donalds, you claim to be a staunch advocate of school choice. I just want to ask how you're going to hold charter schools accountable in the rare but serious cases when they defraud parents, investors, and taxpayers, namely Optima Classical Academy, which you and your wife abruptly shut down and left hundreds of students scrambling. I thank you for that question. Again, this is James Thomas Fishback.
Did you really just do that? Did you just call a radio station and like a public station there, First Coast, while Byron Donalds was on the program to do? Yeah, yes, he did. Now, many of you might listen to that and go, "Oof, that was a crusher." Well, here's the one thing no matter how you feel about the congressman, the one thing you've got to appreciate is he's not going to just move on. He'll answer the question.
Thank you, Mr. Fishback, for calling in. So that is a question from your opponent, obviously.
Sure.
But you have been a big supporter of charter schools, as has your wife. She's arguably one of the most influential figures in the school choice movement in this state.
Now, let me just stop for a second. The host is ignoring what James Fishback said and is kind of pivoting to school choice and education, right? But I want you to listen.
Erica Donalds,
Well, if you don't mind.
Yes.
Let me respond.
Thank you. So she's like, look, I don't know why he called. We didn't expect this, but we can talk about school choice, and instead of you have to hear this attack from James Fishback. And to the congressman's credit, he's like, no, I'll respond to this.
First of all, I've been an ardent supporter of school choice ever since I've been involved in politics. When I was in the state legislature, I passed the largest expansion of school choice in its kind in the state's history to that point. It was the Hope Scholarship. I passed that legislation. We had that signed into law by then Governor Scott. Governor Scott signed that into law. When it comes to what my wife's companies that she had, she started and operated 5 charter schools in the state of Florida. They're all still in operations today. We've been very focused. She's been very focused and diligent on making sure that kids have every opportunity to get a world-class education and that their parents have the ability to make those decisions. I think to the one school in Southwest Florida, which is being talked about, they weren't able to open up that school on time, in part because of the aftermath of Hurricane Ian.
Okay.
We've got.
So there you go. In the aftermath of Hurricane Ian. So in other words, he's answering the question. Now, you may not like the answer, but he's answering the question. And so that's James Fishback trying to get a gotcha. I don't know if this is the craziest Republican primary for governor we've ever had here in the state, but I've lived here for 40 years. I don't remember it ever being like this. It's nuts. And so this is what's been happening. He answers the question. People can look it up and see whether or not that's the case. And I don't know. I feel like, how do I put this the right way? So here's I got to play this. Here's James Fishback today. After yesterday, hearing for the second time the president of the United States, who has endorsed Byron Donalds to be the next governor of the state, Here's James Fishback, in front of a bunch of books.
My name is James Fishback, Republican candidate for Florida governor. I'm speaking to you not as a political candidate, but as a fellow Floridian and a proud American. A whistleblower came to my campaign recently with direct, disturbing evidence about a previously unreported felony crime committed by Byron Donalds.
I gotta stop. What in the world's going on here? So, James Fishback is claiming that there's a whistleblower that's got evidence implicating Byron Donalds in a felony crime. Whoa. Now, a couple of things come to mind. He said, until he comes clean, I'm going to hold a press conference in Tallahassee and release the evidence. Now, the first thing I think of is, wow, this guy really wants Congressman Byron Donalds gone. Selfishly for political reasons. Like, this is the last shot I'll ever have as possibly being the governor of the state of Florida. Let's give it everything we've got. That's kind of what it feels like. The second thing is, if there truly is evidence of this, don't you think that in the past it would have come up? Maybe I'm wrong about this, but it does feel like if there was something there, that you might have heard it maybe last year. Maybe you would hear that and something would have popped when there were important votes happening on Capitol Hill, when there were people, when Congressman Byron Donalds was getting a lot of attention, to maybe put this out and say, we got some info on you. You might want to this, that, and the other thing. You know how shady and terrible, allegedly, sometimes politics can be. I don't know. But it sure feels like, man, this is somebody who really wants to be governor bad, is willing to go to all different lengths. Of course, it's really weird that you're in, it's really weird that you were in Washington, D.C. and thought you could go to a polling place and physically vote for a candidate for president of the United States when you live in Florida. Like, that just seems to me like odd. Like, how did you even think that was a thing? That's what mail-in ballots are for. Is it? I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. But then there's the other part where I'm just telling you, I don't know anything. I don't have any inside information, but it really feels like James Fishback is not going anywhere no matter what. In other words, with all due respect, if James Fishback doesn't become the nominee for governor of the state of Florida, he's going to have a TV show, a podcast. He's going to have a radio show. I don't know what he's going to be doing, but he's going to be doing something. Like, he's not going anywhere. It's not going to be like, okay, that's it. I tried. Like, it just feels like for a long time into the future, we're going to hear about James Fishback. That's all. But, all right, let's see what he's got. I guess we'll find out on Thursday. So there's that. It's just crazy. All of it's just crazy time. I don't know what he has. I'm just saying, like, all of this together, it's just it's a seriously crazy year. How many weeks? 2 weeks? Is that where we are right now? 2 weeks from today? We're done with this?
From the 18th?
Woo! 2 weeks from today.
Weeks.
All right. That's it. Kind of ready to go now. All right. Coming up, top 5 audio clips of the day. And we are going to show you, explain to you how Francesca Hong and the DSA are leaning into people like those on CNN to protect from some of the crazy Democrat socialist things that are out there. Like, for example, let's cancel Thanksgiving. She didn't really say that, did she? No, she really had that. We talked about it over the weekend. I think on yesterday, I think we even talked about it a little bit and some of the things that she's had out there. So she now runs to CNN to answer the question because CNN wants to help out a little bit. So we'll have that coming up. All right, it's Drew Steele, Florida's Voice.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you could get both, why not? Especially when it comes to healthcare, and that is MediShare. you get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. That's because MediShare works. It has for more than 30 years. It's a community of Christians who have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth. They love the huge PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Just call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
Hey Max, you look absolutely dashing in that purple tie. Ready to harness the world?
You bet, Daisy. I'm ready as I'll ever be. And might I say, your purple tie really pops with your vest.
Thanks. I almost went with a cape, but didn't want to come across as pretentious.
Nonsense. Anyone in our line of work should rock a cape.
You might be onto something, Max.
Phew, so here we go. First day on the job. We've got this, right?
Right. Don't forget, we both graduated from Dogs Inc. with honors.
Which means I can guide my human around a busy city with ease.
And I can give my human a restful night.
I hope my human is kind and loving.
And I hope mine likes wet kisses and zoomies.
Ready to make a difference?
Born ready. Let's go.
Discover how extraordinary dogs like Daisy and Max change lives at no cost to the recipients. Visit dogsinc.org.
After my injury, I lost my sense of purpose.
I lost the ability to tuck my daughters into bed.
Homes for Our Troops build specially adapted homes with features that allow our veterans to function independently and focus on their recovery and family. This life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free, thanks to our donors and supporters.
Homes for Our Troops gave me a home where I can be a dad.
Homes for Our Troops gave me a brighter future.
We need you to join us too in completing this important mission. Learn more at hfotusa.org.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. Being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA. It is really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families. And one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Since the dawn of time, man and wildlife have shared a connection. And hunting traditions passed down from generation to generation have connected man to the natural world. From bow and arrow to hook and bullet, as man evolved, our link to those traditions remains. Yet today, our basic instinct to provide and as part of the hunt, to conserve and appreciate the natural world has fallen under attack for the first time in human history. Misguided politicians and radical activists pushing an agenda to end hunting as we know it are leading a war against our heritage. In their misguided policies and protests, they demonize hunters and belittle our way of life. The result? Hunters leaving the sport in droves while our wildlife and ecosystems suffer the consequences as conservation funding dries up. Named after the father of the North American model for wildlife conservation, the International Order of T. Roosevelt is fighting in the arena to protect and expand the rights of hunters everywhere. We will fight back against these forces to make sure that every American has a right to hunt, enshrined in their state constitutions. We will educate the next generation in our traditions and seek to expand accessibility so that everyone can enjoy our pastimes. And we will continue to hold true to our namesake's efforts to protect, preserve, and ensure open access to our nation's wildlands. Teddy Roosevelt's vision for American conservation defines our modern hunting and conservation system. A system upheld by the idea that conservation efforts are crucial to our hunting way of life, and that hunters are crucial to successful conservation.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? It's time to shift gears and seize the fresh opportunities this new pro-business environment has to offer. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and the team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you, helping you go on the offense with advanced tax strategies, thoughtful risk management, and forward-thinking financial planning. Imagine enjoying the retirement lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve, all while staying one step ahead, and in a changing world, you've got to do it. Alfie and his team design personalized strategies to strengthen your financial foundation so you can focus on living life on your terms. Ready to find out more? Text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, you can call or text 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and see how a proactive approach can help you thrive no matter what the market does next. Don't wait. Call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470 right now.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
All right, anytime you want to check out the program over the weekend, well, Rightline, your national voice, is on over the weekend. We stream live Saturdays, 4 to 6 p.m. You can watch at Rightline News on YouTube and X. We appreciate you hanging out with us on the weekends because there's a lot of breaking news, things that are going on that you have to wait till Monday. No, you don't have to wait till Monday. You can just hang out with us. So 4 to 6 p.m. on Saturdays. All right, let's do this right now. It's the top 5 audio clips of the day. It's my top 5.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is Drew's top 5. Number 5.
Dr. Fauci is an example of American excellence, a brilliant scientific mind. And yet, the Republican Party has chosen to make this doctor, who saved countless lives, a political target.
That's your take. So if you're wondering whether or not there's going to be any kind of mea culpa, whether or not Democrats as a whole might be like, man, with all that information out there about Fauci and everything that we found out about, we probably got a lot of apologizing to do for the way we treated people during the pandemic. And there's Senator Dick Durbin who's like, he had Fauci on Capitol Hill because they just wanted to go after him because he's a genius. No.
Number 4.
Seeking to remove the Electoral College and do it based on numbers, the quantity of votes for either presidential candidate.
And I still can't believe that anybody considers this radical. Like, to me, there's nothing radical about thinking the person who gets the most votes ought to be the winner.
Yeah, there is something radical about it. It's radical because that's not constitutionally what we do around here. We keep the Electoral College. And why is it that Pete Buttigieg, who insists on that... Yeah, I know, again. Who insists on, like other Democrats, going on to people's programs, podcasts, and saying, yeah, we got to get rid of the Electoral College. And we also have to pack the Supreme Court. I'll tell you what, number one, we do not need to get rid of the Electoral College. It's how we keep things fair. It's how nobody focuses on the big states. They also care about the little states. And there's a lot of little states that are out there, a lot smaller than Texas and Florida and New York and California. And the second part is about the stacking the courts. How about we do it right now? How about Trump picks the Supreme Court justices? How about we do that right now? What do you say? Oh, I'm sorry, you don't want to do that right now because Trump would do it. And, I see what you got going on here.
Number 3.
Hi. The WTA recently announced that the players will take a one-time gender test. How do you feel about that? The first pro league to go in that direction.
I think it's really important to keep the fairness in our tour, and it's obvious that biologically, right, the men are way stronger than women, so I feel like it would be not really fair for the women to compete against biological men. So I believe it took them a little while to make this decision, and I support it.
Here we go again. See, the WNBA wasn't enough, everybody. Now we have reporters asking Arina Sabalenka, who I guess is the number one women's tennis player in the world, but what is a woman, was being asked about men playing in women's sports and how the WTA is going to test to make sure that we don't have any biological men there in tennis. And she's like, yeah, it's obvious that biologically the men are way stronger than women. And it's kind of weird that people are thinking differently and We want to ensure that we keep the sport as women. And yeah, so now are we going to start having problems there too? Is she going to have problems now? Are we going to start moving it to other? Are we going to keep doing this? Because if you think you're going to win the argument of men and women's sports, you're not.
Number 2.
When we're talking about a city-run grocery store, one in each borough, which, by the way, you do not need an ID to shop at, no matter what you've just heard in the news of today.
No matter what you just heard in the news of today, there's Zoran Mamdani, who went on to Joy Reid's podcast, who was playing a clip of one of his bureaucrats there in New York City claiming that and saying that and telling the audience that in order for you to go to the city-run grocery store and get 30% off the prices, you're going to have some kind of library card-esque identification, to which, upon hearing that, Mamdani is like, nah, you don't. Nah, you're not going to have to show any identification. Well, then why did somebody in your administration say that you do? Is it the pressure now because people are like, oh, hold on a second, you hypocrite? Is that what it is? Probably. It's
Number 1.
Why do you think your politicians are allowing this to happen?
If they allow this to become the third world, they know, people in power, they know that they will be able to do whatever they want. They will increase their power because a ruler in the third world is a real ruler.
And so you're saying in a first world country where there's order, that way the politicians can't take that much power.
Yeah.
Because there is order.
The thing here is that people in power know that if they become this the third world, they will increase their power and their money even more. That's the thing, because they can control the society.
Because they can control the society. So there's Nick Shirley, who's like, I got nothing else to do. I'm going to go to Spain and see what's going on with the invasion by those from Morocco who came over by the tens of thousands to the country, and is there talking about how, look, you've got citizens there in Spain who know exactly what's going on, that the illegals are being imported because they get the votes. The polls came out showing that the prime minister there, Pedro Sanchez, was going to lose the upcoming election to a conservative candidate. And right after that, bing, 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 bong, bing, 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 however you say it, it's bing, bong.
Bing, bing, bong, bong, bing, bing, bing.
And just like that, all of a sudden, here they come flooding in. Make them citizens and vote. Is that what happened?
Drew's Top 5.
Maybe you get a piece of exactly what has been going on there. In the meantime, why don't we move on from here? There he is. State Representative Bernie Jacques joining us here on Florida's Voice. We always love having him on the program. Florida State Representative District 59. We love it. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, Drew. How are you?
It's crazy to see what we just described, right? What was going on there in Spain and these migrants coming across. And people don't seem to see the damage that socialism causes, that when you have people who are using them as a way to get votes on their side of the ledger. Sounds very familiar. Sounds like some people in this country that are trying to do the same thing, you know?
It sounds very familiar, and we don't have to go that far back when it comes to its familiarity, because just a couple years ago, under a different administration, I'm talking about the Biden administration, of course, we saw something similar, right? We saw wide open borders. We saw all of our immigration laws being abused and being aided and abetted by an administration. Not only were there lawbreakers flooding our borders, the administration, our own government, was helping to facilitate it. And we would have been in a very different situation had President Trump not won the election. We would have been like the footage we're seeing in Spain. And in some cases, that was our southern border, right? Yeah. We can't have amnesia all of a sudden to not think that the prior administration and the radical left, the Democrats in total now, want to import the third world here into our nation. And listen, and when you import the third world, you become the third world. There's a reason why people flee, Drew.
Yeah.
And if you're going to mass migration, this nation will cease to become what it has been, which is a beacon of hope and an exceptional place for all of mankind.
And that's why you in the legislature here in the state, and even the governor was talking about this recently, about the work that you have done to have, for example, our own the Save America Act here in the state, the way we do things with the 287G program, the cooperation, all the things that, listen, states have to step up, and that's what we've done here.
We have, and Florida has led the nation. We have been the tip of the spear when it comes to immigration enforcement. I think the last numbers I saw is that we account for about half of ICE apprehensions when it comes to the state cooperating with the federal government. And it's because we take our laws very seriously. Early on, under Governor DeSantis, we banned sanctuary cities. We went a step even further by expanding the 287G agreements, where our local law enforcement is working with ICE and not deterring their work in order for us to process these people and get it out of our country. And when you bring up the SAVE Act, this is something that's very important, because part of the left's design in bringing in all these people to the country is the hope that someday they can become voters and dilute your vote, dilute my vote. And it's a way to gain power. If the left knows anything, they know power. And they're going to stop at nothing to make sure that they get it, including flooding your nation with third world migrants.
Yeah, absolutely. Bernie Jacques joining us here on Florida's Voice, State Representative, District 59. Let's talk about District 59. Let's talk about the race. How are things going?
The race is going great, Drew. We just released a very important endorsement that means so much to me. And that, of course, is our Congresswoman, Ana Paulina Luna, a true fighter up in Washington, a good friend of mine, and somebody that I work very well with. She has it down in control up in Washington, and I do my best in Tallahassee, and we make a pretty good team. We got elected together in 2022. She has my back, I have hers, and the voters are responding well to it. She's doing a great job for her district, and we're going to continue to do that, both of us, to make sure that we get reelected in 2026.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot going on, and even as we talk about here, and the one thing I would ask before we go, and the concerns that I think people have with some of what people have talked about with affordability, like when you're knocking doors and you're going and you're meeting people talk about affordability, people talk about a lot of different things. I'm sure data centers pop up, but there's also a lot of great things that are going on in the state. Sometimes, I understand that there are people that do focus on the things that they're worried about, and obviously you are as well. But also a lot of, and reminding people of a lot of the good things that we've been able to do to ensure that we are the free state of Florida.
That's absolutely correct. Yes, people do bring up affordability issues, but by and large, they say, I want to be in Florida. I love what we've done as a state, maintain what you all have done with Governor DeSantis. They want to make sure that we stay on this positive trajectory where we made the free state of Florida. Prior to this stretch of legislators and this great governor, we were not really known as that, right? And so the nation, the world, I would say, knows us as a place where folks can have freedom and opportunity, and they recognize that it's Republican leadership. My voters recognize that it's our Republican leadership, conservative leadership, that has led us to this point. And you mentioned something earlier, something as simple as a SAVE Act, the Florida version of the SAVE Act, that ensures that we check citizenship status before folks vote. And just to bring it full circle, they want to see that in Washington. And the person who's been leading the charge in that is my Congresswoman Luna.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of common sense coming from the 59th district. And we hope that it goes nationwide, and we'll continue to fight for it here at home every single day of the week.
And quickly, one other thing I would say about Representative Luna, boy, politically, she's a fighter. I mean, she does not mess around. She knows her constituents. She's hearing from people. She understands what we want. And you're the same way in that you're listening to what people have to say. And it's like, all right, let's go. Let's get this done. What do we need to do to make this happen? And she is definitely the epitome of being out there politically and fighting,
Without a doubt, she's a true grassroots conservative, and she's super sharp. She knows the rules. I was actually up in Washington, D.C. over the 4th of July, and I was talking to a gentleman who's been part of the federal process for quite some time. And he was talking to a candidate who was running for Congress. And he said, the best advice I can give to you when you first come into Congress is to know the rules. And the example he used was Congresswoman Luna. And he was like, look, she's a new kid on the block, but she knows the rules and she can run circles around these people who've been there 20 years plus to force votes on important issues. The reason why we are here where we are today, where the House has advanced a lot of important issues up in Washington and the Senate hasn't, the reason why the House has is because of Ana Paulina Luna. We need more of her up there. And I'm proud to work with her here at the state level.
Yeah. All right, sir. Well, great to see you as always. All the best. God bless. We'll see you soon, okay?
Thank you. God bless.
All right, we'll see you. That is State Representative Bernie Jacques joining us here on Florida's Voice. State Representative District 59 getting Representative Ana Paulina Luna's endorsement. Very cool. All right, so let's do this. Let's put a bow on the show. Let's take a break. We'll come back. Who knows what we'll have? Well, I kind of know what we have, but stick around. You'll find out. It's Florida's Voice.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Did you know VA home loans are a key to home ownership for those who served?
The first moment I walked into my home, I could hear my footsteps echo off the back wall. The first thing I thought in my head was, man, furniture is going to be real expensive. The VA not requiring any down payment prior to buying the home allowed me to take that money I had budgeted to go out and buy furniture, food, cleaning supplies, pretty much everything I needed. Purchasing a home is scary, but ultimately it's not impossible, and they make it so that anybody can do it.
To learn more, visit va.gov/home loans.
For 25 years, the Library of Congress Veterans History Project has collected and preserved the experiences of America's heroes. From original letters to oral histories, these first-hand accounts bring history to life, one voice at a time. With over 120,000 stories collected, each reveals the courage, sacrifice, and service of our veterans, but many remain untold. Help our nation reach 125,000. Share a story. Ensure a legacy. Visit loc.gov/vets today.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you could get both, why not? Especially when it comes to healthcare, and that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. That's because MediShare works. It has for more than 30 years. It's a community of Christians who have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth. They love the huge PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Just call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
When I was 19 and I was going to shows, I was not thinking about permanent hearing loss. I wasn't thinking about tinnitus.
Sometimes my kids are having a conversation with me and that ringing starts in my ear. They're talking to me and I hear their voice, but I can't focus on what they're saying.
The audiologist, he told me that most of his clients are not old people. They're kids that have their earphones in.
I have a lot of regret about not protecting my ears sooner.
Protect your ears at all times, no matter what. It's not something you can get back.
Some journeys start small, with small pause and big purpose.
Look how little fly, you sweet girl.
Every great partnership begins with the first step.
Bella, let's go.
Guiding them through the world so one day they can guide someone through life. With shared experience, confidence grows, and the path becomes clear. It takes time, patience, and love. But the reward lasts a lifetime.
Hey, good girl, Bella.
You don't just raise a puppy. You raise a future. Become a Dogs Inc. puppy raiser. Give a dog a purpose. Give someone hope.
Learn more at dogsinc.org.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Listen, I've lived in Southwest Florida long enough to know that when I needed countertops, you go to the best. Who's the best? Rock Solid on J&C Boulevard in Naples. First of all, Rock Solid's consultants, I wasn't really sure what I wanted, but I knew that they were knowledgeable, gave me all the information I needed to make the best decision. I love that fabrication is done on premises. It's not like they're subbing out the job to some third party, right? If you're looking for countertops, backsplash, you know where to go. Rock Solid, JNC Boulevard, Naples.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
All right, anytime you want to watch NFL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, Facebook, and Instagram. I'm sorry, I saw this story that popped up on my feed and it distracted me. I don't know if this was recently. All right, I guess I should play it because it was Local 10 News that had the story. It's about a steakhouse in Broward. Yeah, you know what? because I talked about it, I got to play it, right? Don't you think I have to?
That's the rule.
All right, that's the rule. If I mentioned it, I got to do it. It just popped up on my feed and somebody messaged me and said, you got to play this. All right, let's see. I haven't listened to it myself. Let's see.
They disrobed pretty much here.
Class Soiree Steakhouse is the talk of the town and social media, not just because of the menu, but for what's not on it. The customers, that is. Clothes, none.
What? So, wait, there's a steakhouse in Broward where nobody wears clothes? Wait, what? That's it, D. That's I don't want to
bring your own sanitizing spray.
No, yeah. Okay, wait a minute. No, I. It's a naked steakhouse. Is that what it is? I don't want to play any more of the story, but apparently that's the story. I've had enough of the story. Yeah. No. Moving on. All right. Speaking of no, the media covers for the left. The media covers for the Democrat socialists. They know where to go and they need cover. Here it is. Here is Caitlin Collins, who's asking about Francesca Hong. She is the Democrat socialist who is going to be the nominee on the Democrat side for governor of Wisconsin. And she asked about this.
Something that they brought up as well was a post from you in 2021 where you said Americans should cancel Thanksgiving, should have done this in 1621. The post has been deleted. Republicans have been highlighting it. Do you still believe that Thanksgiving should be canceled?
No, look, you think they bring her on because they're trying to pull a gotcha? They bring her on because they want her to figure out a way to get out of it. Cancel Thanksgiving? Let's see what she says.
I'm a chef, and one of the first meals that I made that was for the community when I was 16 was a Thanksgiving meal.
Oh, that's so nice. Okay, so you're doing something nice for so why do we want to get rid of it? Seriously.
No, I always think my hospitality background in owning a restaurant for 7-8 years, that bringing folks around the table to share conversation and build community is always a good thing. But Thanksgiving is also a time that's incredibly painful for many people in our communities.
Why is it painful? Is it, well, no, let it go. Let's see why.
And so I think I wanted to make sure that people understood that there are multiple views, but.
Well, wait a second. What's her view? So she doesn't tell you. So she gives an answer that you listen and go, oh, well, she sounds nice. I mean, she helps people out on Thanksgiving. But then she says it's a time that's incredibly painful for many people in our communities. But like, why? Now, remember what the tweet said. It said, cancel Thanksgiving, should have done it in 1621. If it takes a worldwide pandemic for us to realize we should stop celebrating colonialism and the original super spreader event that killed indigenous folks, FOLX, and women, so be it. Are there really people that you know in the community that are like, we got to cancel Thanksgiving because that was the original super spreader event? Or we got to stop doing that because colonialism? Now, my first reaction would be, you need to get new friends. And my second reaction is, of course those are your friends. And that's what they're saying. And so, did that help her? Or I don't know. I can't do it. I got to go. My head hurts. See you tomorrow.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
My name is Corporal Bradley Joseph Seitz.
Jerry Reed.
Kate Weber.
These are real veterans.